Recorded live.
Ugh.
Welcome to the Lowdown podcast. What's this, 26?
27.
27, wow, we're getting up there.
Yeah.
Nice, 27. All right, well, we are, of course, talking about 315 Left Behind. An interesting episode. Most people thought it was sort of filler, and I pretty much agree, but, they have to have those to, get from point A to point B in terms of the plot. But there's a lot of cool stuff in this episode. We got to finally see, sort of what the others know about Smokey to a certain degree, which I think was one of the bigger things. And then we got a fairly interesting flashback with Kate and Cassidy, who I have to say, Cassidy really made that flashback interesting because, if it was just Kate, it just would have been, God, what Kate did part 2 or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. It kind of reminded me of that the last Anna Lucia flashback with her and Jack's dad. Sort of a the character's flashback and then another character from a different character's flashback, sort of teaming up and doing stuff, and so it was at least as much about her as it was about Kate.
Yeah, definitely.
So that made it better to me because Kate's stuff is it gets old after a while. Although I agree though, it wasn't bad. It was as far as Kate flashbacks go, I've seen worse.
Now this was where is this in the timeline? This must have been pretty soon after she killed him.
Yeah,
it's at least one time that she's met the marshal.
I believe she said 2 months ago.
Oh, was it 2 months ago? Okay.
I think that's what she said.
Okay, that makes sense. So This is after she gets apprehended at the train station.
Yeah.
Or she escapes, right? Or did she escape later?
She got apprehended and then she was in the car with the marshal and the horse came and then she escaped.
Okay. I'm just typing there. Don't mind my typing.
Oh, I won't.
Why is it orange? All right, never mind.
Don't ask.
All right, so I guess we'll go scene by scene, right? That was our original plan? That's what we usually do.
Yeah.
And so first scene, we got Kate waiting in the game room, and she sees Juliet come by the window, and she grabs a pool stick and waits to pounce on her, as it were. And Juliet comes in, and she ducks just in time to get killed by that pool stick because Kate swung at her very hard. I think Juliet would pretty much be dead. And then Juliet does a little ninja move and flips her over on the ground and makes her feel bad because she was just bringing her food.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's interesting that Juliet is this. They're seemingly making her very sort of threatening or something. Very, very, very capable of taking care of herself.
Yeah.
Like that first thing they said about Juliet a long time ago, in the beginning of the season. That I forgot who said. Was it Saeed or someone?
Sawyer, I think.
Was it Sawyer? It was like, she would have killed you.
Mm-hmm. Because when she had the gun on Kate after Sawyer, did his rebellion thing. So, yeah, I agree. And it's in great contrast to her first flashback where she was, as I said, mousy.
Yeah, she was very meek and mousy. And the last, I think it was the last pod, or was it the podcast before, official podcast before the last one? I don't remember, one of the two. They had an interview with the actress who plays Juliet, and she was talking about that dichotomy between, her, who she is now versus who when we first found her, in a flashback. She was just sort of meek and quiet and everything, and now she's just sort of this intellectual badass, which is sort of a nice combination of characteristics.
And there was that thing about her getting her shoulder dislocated 4 times.
Yeah, this was the 4th time, which, some people I think have wondered if there's some sort of domestic abuse thing or what exactly that means, that her shoulder's been dislocated 3 times before. What do you think?
I don't know what to make of that, really. To Domestic abuse? I guess that's what you would think, but I guess I assumed she was, like, fighting with people for some reason. But it doesn't really make any sense. I don't know why, I don't know why she thought that. She thought that? What am I saying? I just read that. I'm having a hard time. Sorry. Sorry.
You're trying to talk and read the comment, huh?
I was reading the comment and then it came out in my sentence, and yeah, this is rough. Okay. What was I gonna say? I don't have a good theory about it. I guess that seems like the most likely. But I guess I want to believe it's something more interesting than that.
Yeah, it's the kind of line where I feel like, maybe next season we'll know what that line is really referencing, something along down the line. But I didn't really think too much about it, but it's definitely interesting. I just love when she tells her later, don't flatter yourself,
Right.
you're not that strong, Kate.
Right. Yeah, it reminded me of this line in Pulp Fiction at the end when Samuel L. Jackson is talking to Tim Roth, and he says, "I hate to shatter your ego, but this isn't the first time I've had a gun pointed at me."
Yeah.
It just seemed like that kind of line. Like, you think, I'm scared of you or something, but this is no big deal to me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, anyway.
All right, so the next scene, we have the first flashback of the episode. Kate is on the side of the road. Her car is broken down. It's going to take 3 days to replace her fan belt, and we find she tells the tow truck driver her name is Lucy. Next scene, the driver drops her off, and Cassidy is trying to pull the old fake jewelry con.
Mm-hmm.
And the local town's guy is not going to take it. He knows real jewelry when he sees it, and he knows a con woman when he sees it, so he's calling her bluff. And, I have to say, I thought it was a little weird for Cassidy to try to pull this con because, the way she learned it, it takes two people to pull it off.
Yeah.
Because if you're just trying to sell, fake jewelry, I mean, that's not really a con, or that's just a sort of very low denominator con. Having that second person is why the con works.
Well, and the weird thing was Kate sort of did the second person role.
Yeah, and it was great writing to have Kate poop in there and help her, and then they could help each other, and that sort of starts their whole journey together. But I just was wondering, why did she think she could pull it off by herself? Is it that are they trying to say that she's obviously been doing cons since she left Sawyer, or Sawyer left her, I should say. But I'm just wondering if she's done this before, or is this like her first time trying to pull this particular con,
Mhm.
Because he taught her basically that it needs two people, and she's not using a second person. So I'm just wondering if that means anything. Like maybe she's just not that good at conning in general, or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think she was, but I mean, it was set up for Kate to walk in, so
yeah.
So, but yeah, I think she just looks bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I've actually had like people come up to me at a gas station and try to sell me like, electronics or cameras or something.
Wow.
Same kind of thing. So.
Actually, I think somebody actually tried to sell me a ring or something. It was they're like, hey, you want to buy, or maybe it wasn't like it wasn't like a whole bunch of necklaces like Cassidy has, but, because that just seems really weird when you just have like 15 necklaces. Hey, you want to buy one of these?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think somebody did that to me once. They came up and it was like a necklace or something. I'm like, no, I don't need that. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, it just seems fishy, You gotta wonder, where did that come from? What's the deal here?
Yeah.
It doesn't seem, on the legitimate, which it's not. So anyway.
Which is not. So there you go. So anyway, like we said, Kate steps in. She offers to buy one, which helps get the guy to leave, and so he's not going to call the cops, which is really why Kate stepped in. Cassidy, wonders why Kate helped her and figures out it's because of the whole cop thing. And she offers to give Kate a ride into town. The next scene, we're back sort of in the present. Kate is in the game room, and Locke comes in to say goodbye. And Kate wonders if he's been brainwashed, which they've been seemingly making a point of, because she sort of thought the same thing about Jack.
Yeah.
When she talked to him. And I'm wondering if they, if they're, I mean, obviously they set the brainwashing thing up with Carl when we found him a couple episodes ago. So I'm wondering if they're trying to, if they're making this a red herring, or if they're really trying to have the audience ask if they've really been brainwashed or not. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think with the Carl thing, they set up that they will brainwash in some cases. So I guess if one of our survivors is seemingly working with them, you want to believe that the only way that could ever happen is if they were brainwashed. But I don't think that's the case in Locke's case.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he's doing it because I don't know exactly why he's doing it, but I think he's doing it for some specific reason and not because he's being controlled, artificially. So wait, what was the question?
Basically, if you thought they were being brainwashed or not.
Locke or anybody?
Jack and Locke.
I don't think either Jack or Locke have been brainwashed, no.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is when, back when Cindy met Jack and she said, he was like, what's going on? And she was like, it's hard to explain. And I'm wondering if, I don't really think Jack has been brainwashed, but he's had the same sort of mentality that obviously the others told him something, or perhaps did something to him so that he understands what's going on. And it seems like maybe he could have been brainwashed, and sort of doesn't remember or doesn't know it. But that'd be weird. But they're setting it up for something. So
yeah,
because Kate keeps reminding us about this whole brainwashing thing.
Yeah.
Then Locke sort of drops a load on her and says, he doesn't want to go home, which is the first time we've heard one of the Losties say that. We've known Locke wants to be on the island, but I think from Kate's perspective, that's really crazy.
Yeah.
That he doesn't want to leave, especially since she doesn't know, the reasons why. And Locke doesn't seem like a man who just saw his father materialize on the island. He seems pretty calm. So I'm wondering, I can't wait to see how that scene is resolved.
Yeah.
Because he, at this point, seems fairly calm about what's going on.
Definitely. Although I did know he had that bandage on his hand, and he seemed to have maybe been punched in the eye.
Yeah, his eye was weird.
His left eye, I think, looked like it had some kind of bruise or something on it. So I don't know what that means, but
well, Jack didn't punch him.
But I'm hoping
maybe.
Yeah, but I'm hoping we'll find that out eventually. But I agree. But I think whatever he's doing now has something to do with his dad appearing.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever they're doing, I don't know how closely, if it's directly, they're going here because his dad was there, blah, blah, blah. Or if the fact that his dad was there is leading him to go with the others somewhere else. I don't know. But I think I think that was the impetus for him too.
I think it has to do more with, and I think those are all related, but I think it has to do more with this whole thing about Locke's connection to the island and them wanting to show Locke more and sort of get him closer to what's going on the island. But of course, that should be related to why his dad's on the island in the first place.
Right. So can I ask you a question?
Uh-oh.
I know I'm question boy, but I'm going to turn it around for a minute here. Where do you have any thoughts on where the others and Locke are heading off to?
Yes.
Okay. Would you care to share them?
I would care to share them.
All right. Will you share them?
I will share them.
All right. Will you share them now?
No.
Okay.
No, I'll share them now. I really don't. Actually, the answer is no.
Oh, wow.
All of that, and the answer is no. I have no idea where they're going.
Sawyer.
I am so flabbergasted that they left that they just left quickly too. It didn't seem like they well, I guess the fact that they left so quickly means that they sort of had a backup, place to be. The only thing I can think is that they are either going to the mini island or they're going to wherever the others used to live before they moved into this, O-Town.
Mhm.
That's the only thing I can. But it's weird. Why would they abandon that place so quickly? And as we find out later, it protects them against Smokey. I don't know. I think it's really strange. But I said a while ago that I think the Lossies are going to move into O-Town, and they look like they might be going that way. Because once Jack and them, if they get back to the beach anytime soon, once they say, hey, there's this great, living environment that's empty that protects you against Smokey too. Let's go move there. So I could see them doing that.
Yeah, I could too. So also as a follow-up question, any thoughts on what the others might be doing? I get the sense this is leading up to some major thing that'll happen maybe towards the end of the season. Do you have any speculation about what that might be?
Wait, say that again?
Well, what I'm asking is, what do you think the others in Locke are going to do? Do you think they have some task that they're going to perform, or what do you think's going on there?
No, I have no idea. It's getting to the point where I can't even make a crackpot guess. I don't know. I really don't know. Obviously, by the end of this season, we should have a fairly good idea of what the others are about. That seems like where they're going with this. So I think they're leaving. The others are sort of leaving, so we can go back to. I really think they're going to sort of go back to where either they used to live or sort of where the heart of the others is, and so that way we can sort of find out more about them. But they could be going to another station. There could be a station we haven't seen before that they're going to. So I don't know. I guess my point is what they're doing. I think is very related to where they're going.
I see. Okay, so they're answering one will probably get you a long way towards the other. And I agree, there isn't much to go on, and I don't really have a theory, but you can't help but wonder. Another question I have about this scene. Wait, what scene are we on?
When Locke comes to tell Kate that he's leaving.
Okay, wrong scene. This isn't about that scene. That was about another scene. So, I agree. I think they might be, going back to their trying to get more in touch with nature and stuff, with the idea of what Locke was saying about being a cheater or something like that.
Cheating with the technology and the resources, and I agree. And like Ravel just said, maybe where they're going or why they're leaving has something to do with the four-toed statue. I want to believe that the others are directly connected to that statue, but it should be old, so old that it would like sort of predate, anything to do with Ben. So but he claims he was born on the island, so maybe there's this sort of indigenous people that used to live there or something.
Right.
That he's like a direct descendant of.
My current thoughts about the four-toed statue are that that's. I feel like that's not related to the others. That's just my sense, the sense I get. That I feel like that's something that they're going to get into eventually, but I think it might not even be developed very much this season. That might be a next season thing.
Yeah, a while ago, I think Carlton and Damon or someone said that basically, season 3 was supposed to be about the others, and then once we find out about all that, it's going to go back to even further the history of the island. And like in season 4, so the statue will probably come into play in the sort of early history of the island.
Yeah, and I think maybe the Black Rock would be included in that. And
yeah, exactly. You gotta love the show. There's just so much going on. There's so many little details that they sort of place, and then they come back to later. It's just a rich tapestry of cornucopia of mystery.
Wow. Really selling it. Very good.
I'm trying. Yeah, I work for ABC, by the way.
A rich tapestry.
All right, so let's see. The rest of the other part of this scene, we find out that Locke tried to convince the others that Kate was a good person, but they told him what she did, and apparently forgiveness isn't one of their strong suits. Although they seemingly forgave him for blowing up the sub. I don't know. I guess we'll figure that out.
Well, Ben wanted him to do it, so...
yeah, but the others should still be mad.
Yeah.
The other others. Right.
They should be, but with a leader in your corner, I think it helps.
That's true. You know, what I want to talk about is why this episode sort of makes it seem like it's Kate's fault that Jack and Juliet can't get off the island because, of course, the sub has been blown up. And, you know, Kate even takes responsibility for it. And I don't know. I don't think she's really to blame. If anything, she's you know, very minor, you know, part in the blame. But do you want to talk about that later, like the whole thing?
Yeah, well, I guess I would say she has like a bit of indirect responsibility, adding up the fact that Jack said never to come and the fact that she was the motivating force behind getting the expedition to go.
Well, I guess let's talk about it now real quick. You know, Kate was going to go by herself. Well, okay, the first thing is Jack said, don't come back for me. And, you know, yeah, he said that. He sort of warned her or whatever, but I don't think in that kind of situation, you know, you can I don't think it's permissible, you know what I mean? Because, you know, he's held hostage by these you know, sort of evil people. He says don't come back. I mean, it sort of behooves her to come back because, you know, he's the one that let her escape. So the idea that she wouldn't come back for him, I think, doesn't even add up. So I think you can cross that one off the list for her culpability. And then you know, she was going to go by herself. She didn't ask Locke and Saeed to come with her. They decided to follow. And then not only that, it was Locke's, you know, magic stick that got them to the flame, and it was Saeed's, you know, electrical diagram, you know, math thing that got them to the others. Mm-hmm. So I think it's really, God, it's barely Kate's fault at all, if anything, you know. That's the thing. I'm just really confused on why they're trying to sell this idea that she's to blame. Do you think that she knows about the sub at all?
I don't know. If it were close enough, like they made it seems like she should have heard the explosion. But I don't know. It's pretty unclear. So I have no idea. She should, though. She should. Someone should say something to her. If she doesn't know already, she better know soon.
Yeah, I'll bet that.
Because she was talking about. Didn't she say it was her fault he couldn't get off the island? Like.
Well, yeah.
So she must have known about the sub to some extent.
Well, see, I didn't know if she was saying it's my fault you can't get off the island because, you know, I'm the one who led Locke here and he blew up the sub, or she's saying, you know, because we came here, the others decided to leave and therefore so did your chance of getting off the island. See, I don't even know why. I mean, I guess she has to know about the sub. But nobody's told her about the sub, so I don't know.
Yeah. Well, maybe off screen, or maybe the deleted scene.
Deleted scene, or maybe when they revisit what's going on from Locke's perspective, you know, pick up from when his dad comes on the island, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll have a scene where Kate finds out and she understands that.
Like, I don't think if you're a judge or you're a arbiter or I don't know, whatever, and you're gonna assign blame for this situation, I don't think you give it to Kate. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
But I can understand why she'd feel guilty, and I can understand why someone who was being unfair would sort of blame her to some extent. So yeah,
I can see someone trying to make her feel guilty, and I can see her, you know, she's feeling guilt for it. Yeah, I'll buy that.
So that's pretty much. But I agree, it's ridiculous to, if you were actually, you know, going to punish her or whatever for this, you know, it doesn't seem like she's really responsible for the bad parts.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, her going back, I agree. I mean, as soon as he said that, I'm like, come on, you're not gonna not go. Whatever. We're gonna just leave Jack over there.
And that's the thing, you know, Jack doesn't know what was involved in them finding, you know, O-Town and all that, so.
Right.
You know, I don't know. Here's the question, though. Where's Danielle?
My theory is that she's tailing the others and following Alex.
Nice. That makes sense.
So, yeah. That's
probably how, you know, I can see this, like, next episode. Well, because, you know, there's, you know, obviously in the next scene we're going to get into the other plot line, which is Sawyer becoming sort of the leader of the Losties. But obviously if they're setting up this idea that Sawyer's going to be the leader, then Jack, Kate, and Saeed are not getting back to the beach anytime soon. Because if they did, they would just have to leave anyway because we got to go, you know, finish our deal with the others. So I'm thinking what's going to happen next episode, or the next part of this plot line is that they're going to be headed back towards the beach, and then Danielle's going to come and say, "Hey, I found, you know, I've been trailing them, you know, like you said, and they're this way," and then they're going to detour and follow them.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Interesting. I unfortunately have seen Next Week on Lost. So.
Oh, you know what? I haven't. So is my theory shot to hell now?
So I don't know whether I should confirm or deny your theory, but I definitely know whether it's true or not. So
you're not going to confirm or deny it, but you know if it's true or not?
Yeah, the next on Lost makes it clear.
Can you tell me? Because I want to know.
You want to know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not correct. They get back to the camp.
Oh, that's crappy.
So. Yeah.
Well, I'm through watching Lost. I'm done.
Wow. That's
yeah.
it, huh?
That's all it takes.
That was easy.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, the next week on Lost focuses on the fact that they have Juliet with them.
I see. Man, can you imagine? I was thinking about that when they got back to the beach, like how they're gonna, you know, receive Juliet. And I mean, obviously Jack is going to sort of take up for her, but you know, there's going to be obviously a lot of hostility just because she's another.
Right.
Who's been the bane of their existence since they got on the island.
Yeah, indeed. So yeah, exactly. It'll be. I think it'll be even more challenging than the whole Ana Lucia shooting Shannon ordeal.
Yeah. I wonder if that means we're going to get all these scenes of Juliet by herself down the beach, you know, being all sad and depressed.
Maybe Jack will ask her to train an army.
That'd be awesome. Let's start an army. Oh, man.
Just do it again. Why not?
Do it again. Maybe this time it'll work. Maybe it was Ana Lucia's fault it never got off the ground.
She was dragging her feet. She forgot to bring all the supplies.
Exactly. She wasn't organized enough.
Her heart wasn't in it.
She knew she was going to die soon. All right. So let's go to the next scene.
Okay.
Oh, actually, in this, and my other question about this scene was: do you think Locke knows, like, what they're going to do to Kate? You know, i.e., leave her there. Leave her behind.
She knows they're going to leave her behind. They say that. He says that.
Mm-hmm.
And Jack, too. So we know, yeah. So are you talking about the gas thing or the fact they're going to leave him behind?
Well, I guess I was talking about the leave her behind thing, but I guess my point was, you know, why... You know, he sort of says goodbye like he's never going to see her again. So I don't know what my point is. Okay. Let's go to the next scene.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what my point was. Next scene, Hurley comes to talk to Sawyer candidly. The Losties are going to vote whether or not to banish Sawyer a half mile down the beach, and Hurley wants Sawyer to make amends for all his past transgressions. Oh, it's so nice. It warms our hearts to see Sawyer be nice. But of course Sawyer doesn't do amends, and he doesn't really want to do it.
Right.
he makes this point about exactly how much time he has left on the no nickname thing, and at first I thought, I think Hurley said something about, you don't contribute to the island or something like that. You just sort of take. And then Sawyer, pulls out this watch and he makes this point about how much time he has left. And I really thought his point was that, like, he has like the only watch or something. And so he's the only one who knows, like, what time it is and, all that stuff. And I thought he was going to make a point that's what his contribution was. But then, of course, like, he just put the watch back in his pocket and didn't say anything about that. And I was like, oh, that's weird. So I don't know what his point was. Is it just to tell us how much time he has left so when he does start nicknaming, we don't wonder if he's early or something?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just to establish the sort of a time frame, and also to establish that he's going to do it sometime soon.
Oh,
get ready.
Wait.
Yeah,
get ready.
But I have to believe somebody else has a watch. I mean, plane full of people, somebody else has to have a watch. So.
But they're all broken.
Oh, okay.
That's what I think.
I see.
So, blah, blah, blah. Next scene, Kate wakes up on the floor. Why she wasn't sleeping in one of the couches or chairs in the room, we'll never know. But she wakes up and she starts to eat the old crusty sandwich that's on the floor.
With flies.
With flies. That's how desperate she is for food.
I thought she was going to, because the sandwich had meat in it, I thought she was going to open the sandwich and there were going to be maggots in there. And I was bracing myself for that, but it didn't happen.
How did the flies get in? That's what I want to know. That's the real lost mystery.
Hey, flies are amazing.
They are amazing. We'll have a fly podcast later. Which will consist of us reading the Wikipedia entry on flies.
Mm-hmm.
Tune in. It'll be riveting. Okay, so she hears some commotion outside, and she looks out the window, and she sees that the others seemingly packing up and leaving, and they're putting on masks, which is all kinds of scary.
Yeah.
And, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, what's going on that you need masks? And then we find out.
Right.
They throw a canister of some sort of gas, some sort of knockout gas. It's like Acme brand knockout gas.
Mm-hmm.
And Kate goes unconscious, falls unconscious. You got to wonder why they put on masks to begin with. I mean, it's not like they were in the room. Because they presumably only gassed Kate, Sawyer, Kate, Saeed, Jack, and Juliet, right? Yeah,
now my theory is that they did not gas Juliet, and that they did not gas, or maybe they did. Maybe they gassed Juliet, but my theory at least is that they didn't gas Saeed because he was locked outside, and it would have been kind of hard to do.
Oh, that's right. They did say something. Yeah, he was locked out. He was still chained to the like swing set.
The swing set, yeah.
Wow, that's weird.
So I'm guessing he just sat there. And
so he sat there and sort of. Well, they said he was in the backyard or something, right? So he probably didn't see too much of what was going on.
Yeah. So yeah, but maybe they did gas Juliet, because I find it hard to imagine how that would work with them leaving and her not being gassed.
Well, there's a lot of weirdness with the whole thing. We find out that she sort of, was setting Kate up, and she had the key the whole time to the handcuffs. And how did they get out into the jungle? I want to know. Like, if they left, if they gassed Kate and they didn't gas Juliet, then maybe Juliet could have, they all left, they left them behind, and then Juliet goes and like picks up Kate or something. Mm-hmm. And then, Juliet's pretty big. She's pretty tall.
Yeah.
At least compared to Kate.
And Kate's pretty small.
Yeah, and so maybe she carries her out into the jungle, sets her down, handcuffs them together, and then pretends to be asleep. Which I got to say, she did a really good job, because when she woke up, she was nice and groggy and disoriented. And but then Kate apparently finds tracks. So if she's a good tracker, she would be able to see that there's only one set of. It's like that poem Footprints.
Oh no.
But God, how come there's only one set of footprints?
That was when Juliet was carrying you.
Juliet was carrying you, Kate.
Yeah, that's a good point. But maybe the rain washed away the trail.
But it didn't rain yet.
Well, I know.
It didn't rain until after they started.
Rain.
Yeah, just say rain. That works. Either that or Juliet was gassed, and they were, which was my original thought, and they were both like taken out into the jungle, and then like Juliet woke up first and sort of realized what happened, and then handcuffed herself to Kate, and then like went back to sleep.
Oh.
I mean, either way it goes, it's weird.
Yeah, that is weird. Like, how did she have handcuffs on her?
Yeah, I don't know.
I have to believe.
Oh no, I think the idea is that she had the key to Kate's handcuffs. Because, Kate was handcuffed, and so she just took, one of the cuffs off Kate's wrist and put it on her wrist.
Oh, and she just happened to have a key to that
she just
on
had
her.
Key. Even though she shouldn't, since she's like, an outsider or sort of branded, she really, I don't know. But she was bringing her food and stuff, too, so I guess she's doing what she did for Jack, and so she had the key.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. That theory is better than her carrying her out there. So I'll go with that.
The problem with that theory is, why would the others throw them out into the jungle?
Yeah, there's no reason. So never mind.
They just left Jack lying there. They left Saeed tied up.
Going back to the Juliet carried her theory.
There's something nice about that. That'd make a nice like movie poster. Juliet like carrying Kate.
Mhm.
Nice and dramatic. Maybe that's how her shoulder got dislocated so many times. She's carrying people. All right, Juliet, stop carrying people.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So where are we? Next scene. It's flashback. Kate and Cassidy are at the bar having some girl talk.
Oh.
That's sweet. And
men.
Oh, men. You say they love you, and then they take your money.
Mhm.
I wanted to ask you about that too. Cassidy, says she doesn't seem to call the cops on Sawyer, but I remember he did get arrested, right? He definitely went to jail.
She in Every Man for Himself, he said that she gave him up.
So that must have been after this conversation with Kate.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she had the kid too, so it's definitely after.
Oh, she had the kid already. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one of the things this episode established. A lot of people weren't so sure that the kid was real, but she didn't have a reason to lie to Kate about that, I don't think. So
yeah.
So yeah, baby's real.
I mean, she did want to name the baby Clementine, though. That just seems ridiculous.
Yeah, well, she's Cassidy. What are you going to do?
Yeah, she's Cassidy. And I guess Clementine is her Sundance kid.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
God.
Nice.
So we find out that they're in Iowa, which I guess when was Kate apprehended in Iowa that first time at the train station?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm not. No. The train station. I think the train station was when she went to visit her so-called real father. So that might have been somewhere else.
Oh, that's right.
I want to say Florida, but I really don't remember.
I don't remember either. Just wondering. So Kate tells Cassidy that she killed her stepdad and that she's on the run, and Cassidy says why, and she said because he was a bad guy, and they're doing that whole good bad thing. Now my quick question is why are there federal agents after her? Is this because she's like crossing state lines and stuff? Is like she's a fugitive and crossing state lines, so that's why the feds are in on it? Yeah.
I think that must be it. The force they have dedicated to her seems a little bit out of proportion with her.
To what she's done? Yeah.
Crime.
Yeah, she killed one person for a very specific reason. You know, it's not like she's a serial killer.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect her to be a threat to, like, society.
Anyone else. Yeah.
You know?
As long as someone doesn't abuse her mother, they're okay.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it just seems like it works with season 1 Kate before we knew what she did.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can say, "Ooh man, she must have done something really bad." But
yeah. Well, and maybe you know they have, you know, like Cassidy says, there's 6 guys waiting for her. Maybe it's because, you know, she was so, you know, crafty that first time they tried to capture her.
Elusive, yeah. Sure.
Yeah, you know, so maybe they're like, don't want to take any chances. But the idea that they're waiting, you know, near her mom for this amount of time.
Yeah.
Like, how long are they going to do that?
Yeah, it just seems like a waste of, no offense, a waste of government resources.
Or are you going to spend the government?
I don't know why I said no offense. I was thinking we have, like, government agents in our...
Yeah, I think 420 Brownie is government agent. It's all a cover. Yeah.
I'm suspicious.
So let's see. The next part of this conversation, Cassidy wants to help Kate talk to her mom, and she tells Kate about, you know, the fact that she was conned out of her money, and that, you know, one of them deserves something good, which is nice, you know. I think it's cool that, you know, these two women who've sort of down and out to a certain degree, you know, I like the fact they sort of wrote them that they sort of come together and help each other.
Yeah.
It sort of came out of nowhere, but it sort of works.
Yeah, it's half cheesy, but yeah, it did. It did sort of work. I hated to admit it, but it did.
Yeah, and I really hate in movies, and especially like on Lost, because they're sort of doing that a lot these days. I really hate when, like, people have a connection, but they sort of never find out they have a connection.
Mhm.
So I mean, it's nice writing wise, but it just sort of sucks because it's like, man, if only she would have said the word Sawyer,
right?
Like, things would be so different, you know, on the island. You know, they would have that connection.
Yeah.
It's like the whole thing, you know, with, you know, Claire, you know, will Claire ever know that she's Jack's, you know, half-sister?
Right.
You know, we'll see, I guess.
Maybe the others know, and they can tell them.
The others should definitely know, because they have, you know, this file that they have on everybody they claim is so great. They should definitely know. And maybe Jack will find his file or something, and it'll have some sort of note about him being, you know, if under siblings, it'll say, like, you know, Claire Littleton.
Right.
And I think, like, what?
What? I think, like, trivial connections, like Sawyer running into the car door, you know, where Ana Lucia was, and Jack's dad, like, that's, you know, whatever. Who cares if they ever find that out? But connections like this are, you know, they're pretty strong. It does seem kind of sad after a while that they'll never fit. Like, on their own, there's no way they'd ever know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they would have to do a lot of talking to figure it out.
Yeah, they would. Yeah. Like, I mean, yeah. I was gonna say about Clementine, but Kate doesn't know what the baby's name is.
Yeah.
Are going to be. So they, yeah. I don't know. There's not that many ways they could even figure it out.
But it's something I thought in the early part of the season they were getting away from the connections, but I guess not. They're back to them full force now.
Oh, sorry, I'm looking at my notes. Yes, they're back full force. I heard what you said. I'm paying attention. I can repeat the last thing you said, therefore I'm paying attention.
Yeah, well, that's logic.
That's logic.
I think you know, it's. I think stories have this. Like, I've seen movies like this where characters have connections and they never really sort of know, and it can be just sort of interesting. But on a show like Lost, where it's so long, I don't know. It seems ridiculous after a while. Like, you guys have too many connections not to know. So
yeah.
anyway,
yeah, they really should go like buy the season 2 DVD of Lost and check out that cool connection section, so they can see how they're all connected to each other.
Or they can try to use that awful feature on the DVD, and like, let's see if I can get to Bernard from Jack.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, use that thing, and that thing was cool for like 5 minutes.
Ugh, what a mess.
And then it just got like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, it was irritating. Oh God.
You know what's not irritating?
Let me guess. The next scene.
The next scene. Actually, it is a little irritating.
No.
No, it's not. Basically, the next scene is a little quick one. Kate and Juliet wake up in the jungle, and she's handcuffed to her. Let's see. Kate is handcuffed to Juliet, and she sort of is wondering what's going on, and it's just one of those. They're setting up for a little drama, a little suspense. The next scene, Sawyer is out fishing. He's trying to fend for himself. Pretty much to prove Hurley wrong.
Yeah.
Because he's probably never fished since he's been on the island. So, let's see. He smiles at Sun and Jen, but, Sun is really still pissed about the whole kidnapping thing.
Yeah.
So, like he says, he's not going to get the Korean vote. And then, surprisingly, Sawyer catches a really big fish. I didn't expect that. I really have to commend him on that fishing pole he made, or I don't know where he got it from, but it was very sturdy and seemed to work pretty well. I thought it was going to break because, after all, it's just sort of really thin bamboo or whatever it's supposed to be. And he catches that big fish, so he goes and tries to clean it himself, but of course he's really inept when it comes to that stuff. And this is basically the scene where, he's trying to prove Hurley wrong, but Hurley just proves his point. So he has to come cowering to Hurley, and he wants to make amends so he doesn't get kicked off the island. So, Sawyer sort of apologizes for all the name-calling, and then they go off to start their amends making, as it were.
Yeah.
Not much going on there. The next scene, Kate and Juliet, they're in the jungle. Juliet is still knocked out at this point. She sees that Juliet has a knife, a little pocket knife, in her pocket, and she ever so cleverly flips it out. But Juliet grabs her arm just in time because we all thought she was going to stab her. Mm-hmm. Because if someone's handcuffed to me, that's the first thing I would do is stab them with a pocket knife. That way I could carry around dead weight. That sounds like fun. She takes it. She takes the knife and she tries to pick the handcuffs, and Juliet basically tells her, not to do it because it's too big. And when I first heard that line, I thought, why does Juliet sort of automatically know how big something needs to be to pick a lock on a handcuff? But then after watching it again, I realized she basically doesn't want Kate to even try because she wants them to sort of be in the same situation and be tied together and all that. So.
Right.
And this whole time, Juliet is saying they, when they left us, blah, 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 and, sort of distancing herself from the others. And I love that line that Kate says, which I can't say verbatim because there's no transcript up, but, you say they, like, you didn't have me, breaking rocks all day and locked in a cage, which I thought was a nice point. But Kate basically tells Juliet that the others were leaving, and Juliet pretends to not know anything about it. What do you think Juliet knows at this point? I mean, I guess it sort of depends on, Juliet's story was that she was, having tea, making some tea, and then gas came into her room.
Oh, she says she got gassed. Okay, I forgot about that.
She says that, but I don't know. Do you think that's true?
I could see her having tea.
They're making a tea thing because Mikhail had the whole diatribe about tea.
Oh yeah, he did. I forgot about that. He grew his own tea. Wow. What a Renaissance man.
I know. That's great.
I'm gonna go ahead and buy it. take it at face value and say, sure, that's what happened.
That Juliet was gassed.
Yeah.
And so she really doesn't know where the others went.
Yeah. I'll say, yeah, I'll go with that.
Wait. Okay, I guess let me clarify my question. Does she not know that the others left, or does she, after knowing that they left, not know where they might have gone to? Because I feel like she knows where they went.
I don't think she knows where they went.
Really?
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, because I think, like if she went back to the others, original place of dwelling, whatever.
I hope that's the official name. The others' original place of dwelling.
Then I think for the time she's been on the island, they haven't been living there, so I don't think she necessarily knows about it or where it is or whatever. I don't even know how much she knows about the long-term history of the others.
You mean you don't think she ever? Do you not think she ever asked questions about what's going on, how long they've been there, and maybe have heard references to some other place that the others used to be, or do you think she may have asked those questions and Ben just never said anything?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I could see her asking for a while and then just giving up, not getting any definitive answers, and maybe they did make some vague reference, but I don't think she necessarily knows where it is.
I feel like she should have some idea because, I mean, she knows, presumably she knows about, enough about Dharma to know that the others, just sort of moved into O-Town. So she would know that the others had to have been somewhere before. So, I'll buy that maybe she doesn't have any specific place in mind, but she should have some idea that there is another place they could be, and she just might not know where it is. But so I guess you're under the assumption that she's not like a mole, like Ben didn't leave her behind on purpose. Because I know a lot of people are thinking that she's just sort of left behind on purpose.
Yeah, definitely a lot of people thinking that, but yeah, I'm not in that camp. I think she is being relatively genuine in her behavior. I think she was trying to get Kate on her side, like she said, and I think she she was genuinely abandoned by the others.
Really? I think you, my friend, have been swayed by Juliet's 1/4 pucker. It worked on Jack, and I think it's working on you. I think that's what she does.
It is very persuasive.
Oh, nice. Wow. I can't believe you just said that.
I can't either.
Wow.
Wow.
Persuasive.
That's probably one of the best puns I've ever done.
That might be the best pun in history of the pun. Wow. That was pretty good.
Wow, yeah.
They should up your salary for the podcast, man.
They really should. I'm gonna need to put in a request for that.
And as 420 Brownie just said, Carlton and Damon hinted that it was due to their history. I forgot about that. So, whatever, I don't know what that means. Their history together. I can't really see Juliet being, romantically interested in Juliet.
What?
I mean, did I just say Juliet not interested in herself?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't see
that
her being
either.
romantic. Yeah, I have to agree.
So my point's valid. Now, I can't see her being romantically interested in Ben. Can you see that? I don't know.
You can't see her. Did you say can or can't?
Cannot.
Okay. No, I can't either. I can't see Ben being the object of anyone's romantic interest.
Yikes. I agree, though.
I mean, yeah, just because his character, isn't, his personality type makes it seem ridiculous. Nothing against, the actor or anything.
Yeah.
Happily married.
His wife couldn't be happier. She would disagree. No. Yeah, I think it's really about his character. I can't see like how romantic Ben could be with a personality like that.
Yeah, I think the most romantic he can get is his breakfast with Cade.
Yeah.
Like that's it, Just sort of like being nice but sinister at the same time. So yeah, no. But maybe let's just say I hope not, because I don't see how that's going to work.
Yeah. But what else could it be? What else could their history be?
Well, I don't know. I mean, she's been there a while, and I would guess I have no idea.
Maybe their history in terms of the idea that Juliet doesn't want Ben in charge.
Yeah.
So maybe this whole time she's been, trying to get him ousted and all that, and just being, sort of derisive. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I would buy that, maybe.
Okay. So next scene, we're outside of a trailer, and Kate, in quotes, comes up to the door, and her mom opens it, and then the feds come out and pounce on her, and lo and behold, Kate is not Kate. It's actually Cassidy, the Bible salesman, which I wasn't fooled. It takes more than a wig to fool me. I know Kate when I see her. After all this time, and what's the marshal's name? Do you know?
Oh, yeah, I do, but I can't think of it. Edward Mars.
Mars, the marshal?
I think so. I think that's right. Please tell me I'm not wrong.
That actually, I think I remember that. I remember his marshal being rhyming with seeming like his last name, so I'll buy that. I think that's right. But anyway, so Mars comes out, and he sees it's not Kate, and it's really funny because it's one of those that sort of setup, the sort of false whatever person. It's happened so many times. You think the feds wouldn't like play their cards so obviously. They would like check to make sure it's Kate before they reveal that they're have the whole place staked out.
Right.
But maybe they're just not that great at their jobs. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, all I have to say is if I was a federal agent, I wouldn't have done that. So.
Oh, okay. I
think that's a point.
Well, hey, federal agencies, we got a candidate here.
I think we do. 1340 on my SATs. Thank you very much.
Oh, wow.
Thank you very much.
Nice.
690 math, 640 verbal.
Pretty good. Pretty
good. That doesn't add up.
No, but I wasn't going to say it.
Why I got so low on math. Next scene, Cassidy comes back to the hotel where Kate is, and Cassidy's sort of taken aback by the whole thing. She didn't know what she was really getting into, and she wants to know why 6 men are gunning after Kate. And she wants to know more about what's going on. And Kate tells her that her stepdad beat her mom, and that she blew up his house, made it look like a gas leak, and that her mom gave her up. And this whole time I thought, and maybe I just misunderstood, but I thought. I knew her mom gave her up, but I also thought that the feds didn't believe it really was a gas leak. Like, somehow she didn't do it, expertly enough to pull that off. But I get from this line here that they would have just believed it was a gas leak if her mom didn't give her up.
Mm-hmm.
So, interesting little tidbit there. Because I always thought she just sort of didn't do it right. She left some sort of evidence, or was a little too conspicuous that she took out a policy, right before or something like that.
Yeah, that's really bad.
Yeah.
Bad form.
Bad form.
For a murder.
Lot to learn. So after hearing all this, Cassidy is on board, and she, still wants to help. Next scene, Kate and Juliet are following the trail of whomever brought them out there. And then it starts to rain, as Juliet predicted, very Locke-like. I guess we're just supposed to believe after being on the island for so long, you can kind of tell when it's going to rain. You know, you can just feel it or something.
Yeah. I mean, I can sort of do that. I can see, like, it probably will rain. I don't think I could call it that close, though.
Could you call it at night when you can't see the clouds?
No, that would be, I mean, somewhat. Like, sometimes you can see, you know, whatever, cloud cover. But not within, like, 30 seconds or whatever if that rain's starting. I don't think I can pull that off.
And plus, you know, they're on an island with no, like, lights and stuff. I don't think you could really see too many clouds.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times you can see cloud cover because we're in the city and stuff.
Yeah.
But I thought it was cool she called it at night, so it was very strange.
Yeah.
So Juliet, you know, basically stops Kate and says, you know, I hope you're not going back for Jack, because not only did he already tell you before not to come back for him, which you seem to be doing again, but, you know, she's the reason he can't get off the island, and at this point, Kate punches her, and they have the whole girl fight, and Kate dislocates her shoulder, and all of a sudden, Smokey sounds in the distance. So he's back, man. They're really doing a lot with Smokey these days. I think I want to believe that by the end of the season, we're going to know a lot more about Smokey. I feel like we're getting to that point because we know that the others know some stuff about Smokey, you know, and as this scene continues, or actually it's the next scene where it happens that, you know, Smokey can't cross their sonic fence and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be finding out a lot about Smokey, at least what the others know about Smokey.
I agree with that last statement.
And, you know, someone, I believe, on our comment section on the site had a theory about why the others walk around barefoot, and I think they call it a crackpot theory, but I think it actually seems to make sense, is the idea that Smokey can't track you or you don't disturb him or something like that when you don't have shoes on, which I think would be a really good reason to not wear shoes when you're walking around the island.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I can't imagine what the reason behind that is, but I like that idea. It gives it a really clear-cut reason why they walk around without shoes.
Sure.
Which I don't think we've had before.
No.
That's the first theory that explains that.
I mean, the best theory I would have is a non-theory, which is just that it was part of the costume.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the best I can do, you know. Besides that, that's pretty much what I thought, so. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't believe it for real, but it's not bad as a theory.
Yeah. I feel like it could be the case, but there's like a really good specific reason why. You know, like, and it may have something to do with, you know, this idea of technology and cheating and all that, and somehow using, you know, the shoes, like he can, I don't know. I mean, I guess shoes is sort of technology.
The thing that disturbs me in all this is the fact that when Kate originally found the fake beard and the costume, you know, there was like the Dharma brand theatrical glue. Like I can't reconcile that with the others being the ones who are dressing up because they're not supposed to be Dharma. I don't know. That bothers me to some extent, but whatever. Maybe someday that'll make sense.
I think it makes sense why the others would be using, you know, obviously if they want to dress up, they need, you know, the supplies. I guess your real question is why is there Dharma, like, theatrical glue?
Yeah.
And I would say, why is there Dharma like anything? Like, I think they had like Dharma A1 sauce at the end of the episode. Like, they have so much Dharma brand stuff that it's just sort of ridiculous. I think, like, whoever was ordering Dharma products ordered one of every product that exists or something.
I see.
Because, I mean, the stuff that they have on the island that has the Dharma logo on there is far beyond the realm of reasonability, I think. You know, the beer and the wine and the, like, stuff like that for a research project and you know, the scientific thing, you wouldn't think it would be, you know, permissible.
Mm-hmm.
But, so I don't know, I think, but I see what you're saying, and I have no idea why Dharma would need theatrical glue unless they were putting on plays.
Oh, wow. That would be something.
Or unless, it was just one of those things you're not supposed to think about, and it's just supposed to hint that the beard is fake, and, how else do you hint at that besides showing a fake beard and showing how you attach the beard, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It worries me that maybe maybe that's all it is. It's kind of a mistake in retrospect.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Why would the beard even be at the medical hatch? It makes no sense for it to be for like Tom or whoever that was who was supposed to have left it. Like, why leave it in the medical hatch?
Right. Now, see that I agree that that's implausible, but I can let that go. But for some reason, I can't let go of the theatrical glue being Dharma. Like, I don't know. That one's too much for me, but
Sounds like a personal problem.
It is.
Nice. Let me know when you get over that.
Okay.
So, let's see. I lost my place in my notes here. Okay, so they start running when they hear Smokey, and they hide in the little tree alcove thing. I don't know what to call that thing. The little tree bars, or I don't know what that thing is. The same thing that, like, Walt hid in when the polar bear was after him and all that stuff. It's a really great little thing to hide in when you're in a jungle because it's the only sort of enclosed space.
It's like tree jail.
There. Yeah, it's like tree jail, but it's like you're happy to be locked in.
Right.
Because otherwise you die. So Smokey finds them anyway, of course, because, they're not that well hidden. And it flashes some sort of light at them or does something to them, and there's some light involved. And it seems to be directed at Juliet. That's the impression I got.
Yeah.
And then it leaves. So I'm thinking maybe it scanned them and then it saw, oh, this is Juliet. I'm going to leave now. And why it decided to leave, I don't know. But what do you think that was all about?
Well, it has a history, I think, of scanning people and leaving. I think that's pretty much what it did to Echo the first time they confronted each other in the 23rd Psalm, episode 10 of season 2.
Thank you.
And
Mr. Encyclopedia.
And I also think that's pretty much what it did to Locke in Walkabout, episode 4, season 1. I think, and then in both cases, in Locke's case, it attacked him at the end of season 1, and in Echo's case, it attacked him at the beginning of this third season. So it seems to sort of scan you and then go off and think for a while and then come back and get you.
Maybe what it does is scans you and it goes off to read the file that the others have on you.
Oh, God.
And then it comes back.
I don't want to imagine Smokey reading a file. That's scary.
Oh, yeah, no, that is weird.
They walk in and he's sitting in an office chair, like, flipping through a file.
Smoking a cigar.
Yeah.
Oh, gee.
Yikes. But it just seems like he's not ready to he doesn't make quick judgments. He sort of thinks about it for a while and then he comes back for you.
Well, he doesn't seem to do that all the time either, though. There's been times when he's attacked, right off the bat.
The pilot in the pilot episode. But I think personally that's an anomaly. I think, when they shot the pilot, I don't think they were quite ready for completely understanding Smokey yet, and they wanted to create, suspense about him and just suspense in general. And also, Jack was supposed to be killed in that scene originally.
Yeah.
So he was just sort of a stand-in for Jack, which doesn't really help my point, but I just want to throw that in.
But there's been other times where Smokey has tried to attack and they outran him or something, right?
I don't think so.
There has to be.
I don't.
I mean, Smokey's attacked more than 3 times.
Well, they. I mean,
because there were those scenes when they're running and Smokey's blowing up trees behind them and stuff like that. Well,
there was that in the season 1 finale, but it did get Locke. and then they threw the dynamite, and then it sort of ran away. But they didn't really outrun it.
Yeah, that's true. Well, but that's the thing, too. It got Locke, and, we never saw it scan him before, right?
Well, like I just said, I think it scanned him in Walkabout. That scene where...
Oh, that scene. Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah.
So...
Huh, so it has a history of scanning before it attacks. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's weird, though. Seems like it would... What is it doing? Like processing what it scanned or something?
That's what it seems like. Like it's since it was very judgmental with Echo, it makes me think that it sort of scans you and it gets your whole life, and then it goes off to decide, what you deserve.
That's not a very good security system.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about Danielle saying it's a security system. I find that a bit troubling because, what do you don't know anything, Danielle. What are you talking about? Why did you say that? I don't know. That whole thing's weird.
Yeah, that is weird. I mean, I don't know. Smokey's an anomaly itself, so.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with it, but it does come back.
It does come back, definitely.
So maybe it scanned Juliet and then came back for her.
Maybe it comes back in 108 minutes.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that doesn't seem to work out.
Not quite.
4 times 108.
Okay.
I don't know.
Maybe if you multiply all of them together and...
That's a long time.
Yeah. Well, in Echo and Locke's case, it was a pretty long time.
Like in seconds or something?
In seconds, yeah.
Okay, I don't know if I buy that. But I will buy it.
I don't buy it either. I just said it to say something.
Oh, great. So I guess let's talk about that, though. What do you think it left? So you don't think it left just because of Juliet. You think it's just sort of, it scanned them. Presumably it already has scanned Kate, right? I
guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, what was the, not to go on too many questions at once, but like why what's with the flashes? Was it just because it was night or something?
Maybe. The previous scans were in the daytime. But I don't know. And the weird thing is, when Desmond triggered the failsafe, the whole island was like filled with this white light. In addition to the sound, the vibration, and then there's one shot where you can see the sky's kind of purple. But all the characters seem to know about is the purple sky. So I don't know. It seems like they don't really notice when white light surrounds them. But
is that your point?
Yes.
Oh man, that's weird. It's a very strange point.
I think it was scanning them, and there were flashes when we flew through it when it scanned Echo. So maybe
flashes of his memories, though.
At night, that's what it manifests as. Yeah, I know. I don't know. I'm trying.
Or maybe the flashes were it was like, it was though each flash that we saw was sort of a memory being taken from them or something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like the flashes are supposed to correspond to like the memories that it's taking. I don't know.
Maybe so.
I mean, obviously it's reading them somehow. So, man, I can't wait till we figure out what the hell Smokey is. It's the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah, I have to say about your earlier comment. Although I do think we'll find out more about it by the end of the season, and possibly everything the others know about it. I don't think we'll know the whole story with Smokey until pretty close to when the show's over.
I'll buy that. That's
just my meta theory, I guess. Because I feel like that's something. I mean, that goes way back, and I feel like they're gonna wait on that one until pretty late in the game. So
yeah, I'll buy that.
Yeah,
I still feel like we'll get most of what the others know about Smokey.
Yeah, which will help. I think it'll be a lot more than we know right now.
A lot more than nothing.
Yeah, which really is nothing.
It's a cloud of smoke. That's all we know.
Yeah.
It kills you. So, all right, let's go to the next scene. We're back at the beach. Hurley wants Sawyer, to make nice with Claire. And Sawyer goes over and has this nicely awkward conversation. And, he compliments Aaron for not being as wrinkly as he was. And he gives her a blanket. And, it's 1 down, 30-something to go.
Yeah.
Really weird scene. I didn't know what to do with that scene. Except for notice how windy it was. Very windy.
It was windy. Everybody's hair was blowing.
Blowing in the wind. The next scene we have Juliet and Kate, and Juliet doesn't know what Smokey is. That's what she claims at this point. And we find out that, like we said, her shoulder has been dislocated 3 times before. And Juliet also blames Kate for her still being on the island.
Right.
Which, I got to say, I really, wish they would stop saying that, because I don't think it's Kate's fault. But, I don't know. I guess she's an easy target, because she's there.
Right.
The easiest target. And then she tells Kate that she really shouldn't go back for Jack because she broke his heart by sleeping with Sawyer, that they had cameras everywhere and Jack saw what was going on, and Kate is, of course, saddened by that. And I love this little part where she grabs her arm and forcibly resets it in the socket. Because she's pissed at Juliet for what she said, and she just shoves it back in there as hard as she can. Pretty nice. Here, let me help you with your arm.
This will make you feel better.
Yeah. So next scene, we've got Sawyer hunting with Desmond. They're hunting boar, and which is cool because I'm like, what is this, season 1 again?
I know, what a throwback.
Yeah, this is so weird. It's so strange that they're hunting boar.
We actually see one. I don't think we saw any boar in season 2. At least I don't remember any.
Didn't a boar attack Sawyer in
that was
season
1?
Was it season 1?
Outlaws, yeah.
What episode number?
I can't remember the episode number. I'm not that good.
Gotcha.
I want to say 18 or 19.
Yeah. And I want to say you don't know.
Well, you're right.
Okay. I guess we didn't see any boar. I mean, yeah, we didn't really see any boar in season 2 then.
There was a whole line that Locke said about the boar went north or whatever he said.
Yeah.
Because they have a predator and humans are the predator and whatever.
Humans are the most dangerous game. Yeah.
But of course, when you watch that again, you realize he's actually lying. But he's trying to explain why he's not catching boar anymore. But he's actually just working on the hatch.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. But I think once they got in the hatch and they got the food and stuff, it seemed like they just stopped bothering with the boar. Or maybe if they did, it just wasn't that important anymore, so they just didn't.
Well, it seems like Desmond has been taking up the boar hunting. I mean, when we first saw him hunt boar, that was Claire's episode. What was that?
Paravian.
Paravian. He's hunting boar, but it seems like he's just lying. Like, he's really not hunting boar. He's just causing a ruckus. So that Claire won't catch the bird, which was a whole bunch of crap that we already talked about.
And I think he was lying in that case.
Yeah, but he's hunting boar now, and it seemed like Desmond was already going to be up early in the morning hunting boar, and Sawyer decided to come with him.
Yeah.
Which is weird. And, not weird that he decided to come, but weird that Desmond's hunting boar. And, and then it's Desmond, if I'm not mistaken, he's the one who shoots the boar. Yet Sawyer is the one who gets credit for it all. At the end, I don't want to jump to the end, but Hurley's like, "Look, dude, you made everybody happy. You gave them meat." And I'm like, not only did Sawyer not shoot the boar, but it was Desmond's idea to do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it was just weird.
Yeah, it seemed like Desmond should get some credit. I mean, it seemed like Sawyer was cooking it, so maybe he gets credit for that.
I bet he's not the one who skinned it and cleaned it. I mean, somebody should get the credit for that.
Yeah.
They're just not very good at giving credit where credit is due, I guess.
Mhm.
They misplace blame on Kate and they misplace credit on Sawyer. So
Mhm.
bad people. That's why you're all left behind, because you're bad. Let's see. Next scene. Kate and Juliet wake up after their encounter with Smokey, and they get and go up on. What am I saying? They get a move on. And I don't know what I was.
It's a great expression.
Yeah.
Get a move on.
They get a move on. Get their move on. I don't know. Next scene, Cassidy is at a diner, and Kate's mom, what's her name? Like Susie or something? Or Sarah? Delilah.
Diane?
Diane. I think that's it, right?
That's what's in my mind.
All right. I was close with Delilah.
Delilah. That's a great name.
So, it is a great name. Kate's mom is a waitress, and, Cassidy spills her chili on Kate as she comes by. Next scene, we get Kate's mom. It's funny, I was going to say you think Kate's mom might recognize Cassidy, but, she was in glasses, and it was quick and all that. So I guess she didn't get too good of a look. Next scene, Kate's mom is in the bathroom, cleaning herself up, and Kate comes in, and they have, a little heart-to-heart, and Kate, wants to know why she turned her in, and she says, basically, you killed somebody I loved, and, you murdered him in cold blood, and that's why I turned you in. And the mom doesn't want to turn Kate in, but, she never wants to see her again. And I thought this whole plot line is just sort of really sad. That, and I tried to put myself in Diane's situation, and that's, of course, really hard.
Yeah.
And as Rebel said, Kate's mom is a bitch, and your kid comes first, which I do agree. And that's why I was trying to put myself in her situation and to think, like, this person that I loved is killed by one of my kids, would I really want to cut my kid off forever, that I would never get over it. And by somebody who abused you, too, But, they say love is thicker than water. Is that what they say?
Yeah. They
don't say that.
I don't know. It kind of bothers me that, like, the kid comes and now they're more important. I don't know. It's just something about that bothers me. But I agree. She's being a little unfair.
Yeah, the thing about kids, and I don't have kids, so I'm just making this up. I think the thing about kids is that, you can, obviously you can meet someone, fall in love, get married, blah, blah, blah. You have a commitment for life, but you don't, you're not tied by blood. You're not, that person that you're married to doesn't have your DNA. It's not, and if you're a woman, it's not born from you. You didn't carry that person, for 9 months. And I think that's why that connection is so much stronger. That, if you get a divorce, that person is, not your husband or wife anymore. But the kid will never stop being your kid. And this is something you created, out of, not thin air, but almost out of nothing. So I think that's why, and generally speaking, like, kids sort of are just more important. And when you have kids, you'll understand that.
Yeah. Well, I agree that's the way it is. I don't know. Something about it is a little bit weird to me. But, like, on the day they're born, look who's more important than you now. Like, I don't know. Something about that seems a little weird to me. But I agree that's how it is. So.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone actually says that, but I think that's what they feel in their heart.
Yeah. And I want to point out to 420 Brownie's comments. I believe he was actually her real dad, and the reveal was the guy who she thought was her stepdad, who was the army guy or whatever. Yeah, Thank you.
Instant feedback.
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, 420 just said you're right, suggested.
I just wanted to respond. So
yeah, there you go. All right, look at that. All right, so let's go. We're ready for the next scene, right?
Yes.
But anyway, this whole thing with Kate and her mom is just really sad.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, what?
I do have something to say about this.
Oh, go ahead.
I think that this scene now explains why in Born to Run, which is episode.
You know what, buddy? Oh man, I know what episode it is because I watched it too. Thank you very much.
Anyway, Born to Run, when she goes and visits her mom in the hospital, and her mom starts screaming for help. This explains why she did that. Because she says at the end of this that if I see you again, I'm just going to yell for help. And at the time,
and she was serious.
She was serious.
Oh my God. I think that's the kind of line that the writers can write in after the fact.
Yeah.
That's hilarious, though. I forgot. I remember that scene, but I forgot she literally was like, "Oh, oh."
Mm-hmm.
Wow, she really said that. She really did it. Why did Kate come back? Oh, because she was sick?
Yeah, because she was sick.
Is that really a reason?
It is a reason.
Kate doesn't learn.
Yeah, I can buy she would go back in that case.
Yeah, I buy that too.
She's like, yeah, come on, she's dying. She won't hold to her promise, right?
Oh, she will.
She did.
She's born to scream for help.
Mhm.
So okay, next scene. Kate and Juliet are walking. Kate wants to know if Jack actually said that she broke his heart, and Juliet basically says, he didn't have to, which is not an answer. If you ask me, because I don't want to take Juliet's word for it that she, Jack intimated that and she picked up on it. I want to know if he said it or not, because unless I know that, then I won't really believe it.
Yeah, I don't really want to talk about this, but what do you think?
If Jack's heart was really broken?
Yes, that's my question.
It's interesting. I'm glad you brought that up, because I thought that the writers did a very good job of sort of walking that line, in terms of Jack and Kate, walking that line of, they really care about each other, that in pretty much anyone else on the island that, they're sort of highest on the sort of totem pole there for each other. Because they've been through a lot and they have a connection. But this idea that they, have fallen in love or they love each other or anything like that, I thought they did a good job about not really putting too much time into that. And so when we get to the point where Juliet says, his heart was broken, I was thinking, like, when do we get that far along in their relationship? Where did that come from? So I would have to say that maybe, I guess it just depends on, my answer is sort of dependent on what does it mean, when she says his heart was broken, like just disappointed that, that Kate didn't, that he didn't know about Kate and Sawyer. There really wasn't much to know before that encounter. Mm-hmm. But the fact that, he probably thinks there's more going on that he doesn't know. So was he just disappointed that he didn't know? Disappointed that this means that he, can't be with Kate now, if they're together? Or does it mean that literally, like, by sleeping with Sawyer, that really, made him mad and broke his heart? So I don't know which of those it really is supposed to be. So there's my non-answer.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah,
I do think it hurt Jack. I think he was obviously hurt by it. Yeah.
Okay. I want to believe he's mature enough to deal with it in a reasonable fashion, but I don't know. Maybe not.
I think he is mature enough to deal with it, and I think he's just going to sort of not, invest, those kind of feelings and that time into Kate now.
Yeah.
Which is really the only thing you can sort of do in that situation, right? I mean, that's sort of the mature way to handle it. It's like, well, you've made your choice. You want to be with Sawyer, seemingly, so I'm going to leave you alone.
Yeah, but the idea that maybe he was leaving the island for that reason, like, that seems a little bit.
Well, he said he was going to come back. He said he was going to come back for her. So, and I believe that. And that's the thing. I like that. When characters have such a strong connection that it doesn't really matter what happened, that they'll always sort of be there for each other. And I think he really was planning to come back for Kate if he left. Mm-hmm. Kate and the rest of them, but that she was a big reason why he would come back, no matter what she had done. And I'm actually interested to see how Jack is going to react if he ever finds out, what Kate did.
Oh. He doesn't know yet?
I don't think so. I think he missed that episode. I think his TiVo screwed up and he didn't get to watch it.
Oh, God, yeah, I think you're right. He doesn't know. Nobody knows except Locke.
Locke knows, and Locke is a blabbermouth. He'll tell everybody.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to the next scene. Actually, this scene still. Sorry. There's a lot more that happens. A whole bunch. Juliet basically tells. Kate tells Juliet that she doesn't know Jack, and then of course, as we all expected, Juliet rattles off a list of facts that she knows about Jack from reading his file, and then says, "What do you know about him, Kate?" And they really seem to think knowing facts means you know somebody. They keep doing that, so that seems to be what their conceit is. All of a sudden, Smokey is back. We hear the Smokey noise, and then they start running for their lives. And Juliet trips and falls, causes them to fall in the mud. And what do you want more than two hot women handcuffed together than two hot women handcuffed together in mud, right?
My answer is to have them handcuffed together.
That's what you want more?
Yeah, in addition to that.
They were already, what? I'm confused. Are you trying to make a joke and I'm not getting it?
Yes, I'm trying, but never mind.
Okay, I didn't get your joke. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's all right.
Because they're already handcuffed together.
Did you say that?
Yeah, I said two hot women handcuffed together. Now you have them covered in mud.
I thought you said, never mind. God.
Wow.
Woo! That sucked.
Oh, nice. Naked and handcuffed together is the next step up. You're right, 420.
Thank you.
Oh, man. That's it.
And fluffy handcuffs.
Fluffy handcuffs. There you go.
Because handcuffs by themselves are just not sexy enough. The
fluffy ones are more erotic, I guess.
You need the fluffy on them.
The fluff. So they're running. She, like I said, she trips and falls. They run into the sonic fence, and Kate doesn't want to go through because she knows what happens when someone goes through. And Juliet says, no, they're off. But Kate's not really listening. She's sort of caught up in what's going on. Her impending death, that little thing. Mm-hmm. And Juliet pulls out a key, uncuffs herself from Kate, and goes to a little keypad on one of the pylon and enters a code. And tells Kate, you better get on this side, and Kate does, and then she cuts on the fence, and Smokey comes out of the jungle and hits the fence and can't go past it, which this was a theory that I think we said in one of our previous podcasts, that sonic fence might be able to keep Smokey out, and presumably, I guess it seems like that's not really the main reason they have it. It's just a cool side effect. Because Juliet says we don't know what it is, but we know it doesn't like our fence. So a couple questions here. It's interesting how when Juliet turned on the pylon, the sonic fence, it sort of became immediately active. It didn't wait for Smokey to go through between the two pylons, which is different how we saw it behave before when it didn't come on until Mikhail went through it. So I don't know if we're supposed to, question that or not, or just wonder if she cut it on, if she had it like auto on or something, versus like, on if someone passes through. I don't know, but I thought it was just weird how it sort of behaved a little bit differently. What do you think about this thing with Smokey not being able to go through the fence? Do you think, as others have said, that it should be able to go over the fence?
Yeah, I think when we talked about that originally, maybe they built it to keep Smokey out. That's sort of what I was thinking. Smokey seems like it can fly around. So if the humans can go over it, why can't it go over it?
Mm-hmm.
What was supposed to be the question?
That was the question, like the strangeness that it didn't seem like it could just go over the fence.
Yeah, I can't really explain that, except to say I have to believe that it stops it somehow from doing that, but I don't. Maybe it just can't stand to be near it, or I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we're supposed to believe that it just hasn't thought to go over it, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's sort of trying to attack them, and they're on the ground level, so it just sort of goes in that direction.
Yeah.
But and then the other thing is Smokey's kind of, it's kind of a big cloud of smoke, and I guess that's the other thing is, Kate and them went over the pylon, but if they would have, crossed the threshold between the two pylons, even above it, would that have activated it or not? We don't really know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think if Smokey would have tried to go over the pylon, he's so sort of wide that it would have gone between the two pylons anyway, just sort of above it. So maybe that would have cut it on. I don't know. But it's interesting that we got to see Smokey stopped by something. I
think that's the first time that's ever, except like the dynamite, I guess, that seemed to stop him.
Yeah.
So maybe time number 2. But he did seem pretty much unstoppable. So, yeah, it was nice. It was nice to have that theory confirmed. Also, I think we also had a theory about the fence having some kind of keypad to turn it off. So it was nice to see that come up, too.
And speaking of that, and this is something 420 asked, how did Juliet know the fence was off, which is something I was wondering about. And that made me think that she knew that if the others left, they would have had to cut it off. But that's the thing. If the fence is on and you're outside of the fence, you can't get to the keypad, right? So if the others left and ever wanted to come back, they can't put on the fence.
All of them? Yeah, I guess not.
Unless there's a pylon with a keypad on the outside.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know how she, and I think maybe how she knew was, related to how she got out to the jungle too.
Yeah, I was guessing maybe she turned it off herself.
Yeah, she turned it off, or when they were taking her and Kate into the jungle, she saw it was off.
She found that it was. I mean, she had to cross that,
Yeah.
barrier to get out there. So, yeah, I think either she turned it off or she found that it was turned off already. So, I think that's how she knew.
Yeah, that makes sense. What was my other? I had another question about this whole fence thing. Guess I don't. So basically, Kate's all pissed off about Juliet lying, that she had a key the whole time, and Juliet says, well, I figured, if I could make you think we were in it together, that I wouldn't be left behind again. The titular line, yeah. I love it, in episodes where there's, the title, is usually a big part of the episode.
Yeah.
This episode, everybody's talking about being left behind.
Oh, yeah.
And coincidence? No. Let's see. Next scene. You ready for the next scene?
Yes.
Oh, I'm not, because I have one more thing to say.
Oh, okay. I might not be either.
We talked before about Smokey and are there multiple Smokies, or does the one Smokey have the ability to be in two places at once? And I wanted to bring up the little fact that when we see Smokey come out of the jungle in this scene, it seems to have like 3 or 4 different, pieces to itself, 3 or 4 different little clouds of smoke, and they combine into one big cloud of smoke which comes out of the jungle. Did you notice that?
No.
Yeah, if you guys have a chance, take a look at that again. I thought it was weird. It sort of seemed to come from multiple directions, and different clouds of smoke sort of came from different directions, and then grouped together into one big smoky, and then that's the one that attacked the fence. So I don't know. I don't know if that's just how Smokey sort of operates, or if there's sort of multiple Smokies, or what. Because, and the idea that it's a security system, you would want it to be able to secure more than one location at once. If you have some area that you want, guarded, if someone comes from this angle or this side, you want that protected, and if someone at the same time comes from a different side, you want that protected too. So with the idea that Smokey is part of its function, at least, as a security system, it would make sense if there's multiple Smokies, or if Smokey can be in more than one place at once.
Mm-hmm.
So something to think about.
Okay.
Next scene is what I like to refer to as the meat party, because everyone's so happy that there's meat. I don't know, it's very strange. They're like, ooh, meat. I don't care, I'm stuck on an island. There's meat here, and it's boar. I love boar.
Meat party. Yikes.
Yeah, sounds tasty, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be a new fad. All across the country, people are going to have meat parties.
Yeah,
I think it's good. We should patent that. Yeah, boar, the other white meat. Nice.
Oh, dear.
So, they're at the meat party, and Sawyer's talking to Charlie, and he references the meeting that the Losties were going to have for the voting, and Charlie's like, what are you talking about, mate? And I love Charlie's line of, since when does anybody vote for anything?
Mm-hmm.
But it's so true. They never vote about anything.
No, they really don't.
Sawyer basically realizes what's going on and that there was never going to be a vote, so he goes to talk to Hurley. And Hurley, well, let me finish. Hurley was, before I start ranting about Hurley, he basically tells... He basically tells Sawyer that, if Sawyer's going to be the leader, he needs to smooth everything over because people need someone to look up to, and he's the next candidate, basically. And he's like, look around, man, you gave everybody meat, and everybody's happy. And, for one day they'll, not have to think about their horrible situation because they have meat.
Right.
And again, I was thinking, Desmond should be getting credit for some of this, I think.
Yeah, Sawyer even gave Desmond something, like, as though he was offering him, look what I got for you.
Wasn't it like like a meat sandwich or something?
It looked like a big piece of pineapple to me. But
oh, really? Well, I saw something I thought was bread, and I figured it was some sort of big meat sandwich.
Big meat sandwich.
Like they just put a boar hock on a bun. What is he gonna do with the boar? Yeah, they offered. It was a couple of those shots during this Jack Johnson-esque montage.
Oh no!
It was very. I was expecting Jack Johnson to start singing.
I just want to say I'm really glad there weren't vocals.
Yeah, it's a lot better when they don't have the vocals.
Yeah. Because we can live together on the island. And
if we stick together, we'll make it to the end. Yeah, it's all nice and sappy.
Yeah, I can't. It was bad enough with the instrumental, but throw in the lyrics and it's just, another level of cheese.
Yeah. Don't want that.
No, you don't.
During this montage, I think you're right. I think it was Sawyer who tried to offer Desmond something on a plate. We can agree to that. It was some sort of food on a plate.
Yeah.
And Desmond, Desmond doesn't take it in that shot. He just sort of looks at it and kind of smiles pathetically.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, man, Desmond's really pathetic these days. He's just really sad.
Yeah.
Since he's got back on the island, basically, he's just been, from when he tried to leave, he's just been really sad and pathetic, and then now he's got these visions, he's even more sad and pathetic.
Yeah.
And it's really weird. I'm used to him being, interesting, because he was for a while, and now he's just like, oh, woe is me. I'm Desmond. I'm sad.
Yeah. His power is his curse.
Just like Spider-Man. Okay, so the rest of this little montage, we see people eating and sharing food and having fun, and Sawyer holding baby Aaron and Son watching suspiciously.
Yeah, what are you going to do to that baby?
Exactly. Are you going to convince Charlie to kidnap that baby too? Yeah, I was thinking Son is like, well, he can't be too bad. He's holding a baby. You can't be horrible if you're holding a baby. Right? That's why politicians do it. They go kiss babies because you can't look like an asshole when you're kissing a baby. Except for Nixon.
Right.
Nice. Next scene, we've got Kate and Juliet. They finally get back to O-Town. Juliet's going to go for Saeed, and Kate's going to go get Jack. She goes into his little house and finds him unconscious in the hallway. The entire place is wrecked, and as many people have wondered, why is Jack still unconscious? Because it definitely did knock Kate and Juliet out that long. So I don't know what we're supposed to think about that. Maybe the idea is that they threw the smoke into Jack's place, and it made him unconscious, and of course the smoke filled the entire place, so he kept breathing in the gas for many hours, keeping him unconscious, where Kate was taken out of that room, so she woke up eventually.
Right.
So maybe that's what it's supposed to be.
That is the prevailing theory, but if Juliet's telling the truth and she was gassed in her house, she shouldn't have been able to wake up so quick to take Kate away.
Well, yeah, no, I don't buy that. That's the thing. I don't buy that Juliet cannot have been gassed and she's the one who took Kate. That just doesn't work. They either left Juliet alone, and Juliet, knew that they were leaving and knew that Kate was gassed, and then somehow took Kate into the jungle. I mean, I guess that's my theory. That's what happened. That okay. Juliet wasn't gassed.
Yeah.
Because she was gassed, she should have been out for a while. Well, okay. I'll backtrack and say that Juliet could have been gassed, and then someone grabbed her, and then someone grabbed Kate and took them both to the jungle. So that Juliet wasn't in her house that long.
Okay.
So it's still back to either one of those two. Can't get a consensus there on what really should have happened.
Sometimes that's the best you can do on this show.
That is sometimes the best. So Jack and Kate are talking, and she tells him that they all left, and Kate again says it's because she says it's because of her that they left. Which I thought was an even weirder statement, that they left because of her. What do you think that meant, or that she was referring to?
I don't know. She doesn't know what she's talking about.
Yeah, I mean that's true. She really doesn't.
She has no idea why they left. So yeah, I don't know. I guess she's just feeling guilty and wants to blame herself for everything.
Just like a woman. Yikes.
Oh.
Justin, why'd you say that?
Because it's how I feel.
Exactly. And you wonder why you don't have any kids.
So.
So anyway, Jack asks if Juliet is gone, and Kate reluctantly tells him that they left her behind too. And they all decide, to go back to the beach. The next scene, flashback, Cassidy drops Kate off at her car, which is apparently ready now. Just in time.
Yay!
That 3 days was just in time for them to do what they needed to do. Funny how that worked out. Kate...
plots are good that way, they just...
Yeah, plots are nice and tight that way.
They seem like they're planned by someone.
Yeah, like some group of Harvard-educated people went and made this whole thing up. Like, it's not really happening live.
Curious.
Because this is a reality show, right?
Yeah, right?
From the producers of Survivor. That's what I like to believe.
That's what I heard.
That's what they told me.
That's what they told you? Okay.
Yeah. Who, I don't know.
Okay.
So what I do know is that Kate wants to know the name of the guy who ripped Cassidy off. And I was really hoping Cassidy would say, oh, he goes by the name Sawyer or something. I don't know why she would use that voice, but I don't know. But, of course, she doesn't. This is another connection that may never be solved. She tells her that she's pregnant and she doesn't want to call the cops on the guy, because she doesn't, because she still loves him, basically. And then Kate tells, we find out that Kate tells Cassie her real name is Kate, not Lucy. And that was a little interesting tidbit that she was a Sunday school girl, which I guess is just one of those things that it's like, wow, she should be more moral, but she's not. Next scene, we've got the last scene, actually. Jack comes out, and he sees Juliet, and they sort of catch up or whatever a little bit, and Saeed comes out and sees Jack, and because they haven't seen each other for a long time, right?
Oh, no, it's been a long time.
Since the dock, right?
I think they didn't see each other at the dock.
He wasn't there.
I think last they saw each other, they made their big grand plan for how they were going to attack the others, and Saeed was going to signal, and I think that was the last time they saw each other.
Well, no hug, no handshake.
No.
Although I do think there was a lot of weight in that Saeed, Jack. It was like, I love you. They wanted to say it. They wanted to say, I miss you, and that you're the reason I'm living. Without you, there is no reason, Saeed. There is nothing.
So true.
Talk about a plot twist. We also find that the others, that there were 50 of them, which is a number we haven't had ever.
That hurts my theory about 100.
Which goes back to a point of contention Justin and I had a long time ago about how many others that there were, and during the hunting party, if they were trying to deceive them into thinking there was more of them than there were. And it seems that's kind of what they were doing, because, if there's only 50 of them and there were, at the time, 40-something others, so that's, 40-something losties. Yeah. So, head-to-head war, wouldn't have been good for either side. But I think it's interesting that there is only 50. You got to wonder how many of those 50 are new to the island, like Juliet, how many, or if any of those are, I guess some of those have to have been born there, because I believe Ben said, that not many of his people could say that, so that means that some of his people could say that.
A few, probably, yeah.
Probably like that old lady we saw in the first episode,
I'm here for the book club.
I'm here for the book club, and Ethan hasn't finished your plumbing yet. Why is she British?
I'll take my tea at 2:30.
Why is she English?
I don't know.
All right.
Old people are English.
Old people are English?
Yeah.
Should tell my grandma that.
You didn't get the memo?
No. Grandma, aren't you English because you're old? And then I get a nice slap in the face.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my grandma's a bitch.
She's on me. No. Oh, dear.
Yeah, she's not a very nice person.
No. Wow.
Just kidding. So, they're all ready to go back to the beach, and then Saeed says, Juliet's not coming with us. And Jack says, yes, she is. Why? Because they left her behind, too. Another non-reason.
I'm leaving now. Let's go.
I'm leaving. She's coming with us because she's here. All right. That makes no sense, Jack.
I mean, I don't see how they could just leave her there. I mean, it seems kind of weird. So
I think you say that because you've been bemused by the one-quarter pucker of Juliet.
You're right.
Because, and I have too, I like Juliet, I like her character, I like the actress, and even though she's, sort of one of the bad guys, she's kind of not. and I want to trust her. I want her to come back with the lawsuit so she can regale us with all sorts of information and mystery-solving statements. But I think the truth of the matter is that she is still one of them, and at least from Saeed's perspective, she hasn't won him over, and she's sort of the enemy.
Yeah.
Who knows why she's here? And I got to say, I love. I'll give Naveen Andrews the credit for this. That little look he gives when Jack says, because she's left behind too, and he sort of smirks, and he's thinking to him. I like to think he's thinking, well, that's not a real reason, and I feel like Saeed's really is wary of Juliet, that he's got his eye on her.
Oh yeah.
So I like that he sort of hints at that he's not just like, oh, okay, well, that's fine, let's have her come home. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to keep my eye on this little harlot. It's
a harlot. Oh, that's a good old-fashioned insult.
Yeah.
I think it's sort of like, all right, I'll let it drop for now, but I'm not going to let this go.
Mm-hmm. But that's that's his MO these days. Is like, let's talk about this later.
Mm-hmm. Later, after it's too late to address the issue.
After we get back to the beach, let's talk about whether or not Juliet should come to the beach with us.
Yeah. I guess he just doesn't. I don't know, but yeah, that was good. I liked it.
So, 420 mentions that Saeed may have to use his torturer skills. But, not only has Saeed vowed to not do that multiple times.
So many times.
Never again will I do that again.
Oh, God. As soon as he learns how to do it, he vows never to do it again.
Yeah, he, forgets. But, well, no, he doesn't, because he's like, I told myself I'd never do this, and then I'm doing it, and he's like, I should have listened to myself.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no way Jack would let him torture Juliet. But I would like to see the threat of that, though. I would like to see that scene where someone suggests that Saeed do that and see what happens. But Jack wouldn't let that happen.
I think he's gonna at least question her.
He's gonna be questioning her the whole way home, I think. And I hope she's as forthcoming as Mikhail was. But he
was very forthcoming.
Yeah, but I think Juliet is more guarded than that. I think she's more intellectual, and I think she's going to keep her secrets close.
Yeah, that's true. But I think we might get an answer or two out of her. Maybe some smaller things, but I think she'll give something up. Hopefully.
Yeah, she'll give something up. I think that's what Jack's hoping.
Uh-oh.
Yikes. Whoa. Watch the language there. Innuendo, please.
Rebel, don't give away my secrets. I just guessed that's what was going to happen.
Yeah, thanks, Rebel.
You're ruining my... See, this is why we can't do it live.
This is why we can't do it live, because the audience tells us what's really going on. Nice. I thought you just assumed that, Justin.
I was just, oh man.
Yeah, wow.
Just a theory of mine.
Oh man.
It's okay. I really don't care. I just think it's funny.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I had something else to say about Juliet in terms of the secrets. Oh, I think it's all going to depend, in terms of what she's going to say or not say. I think that's going to depend on how she, where her allegiance is right now. Like if she is just like, screw Ben, screw the others, they left me behind. Not only that, but she was just recently branded as, an outsider or outcast or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So if she's completely on the lofty side, I think it's going to be great. I think she's going to be willing to share a lot. But if she's a plant or a mole, which I don't think she is, but she could be in some way, or if she still feels some allegiance to the others, then I think she'll be a little less forthcoming with her information.
Yeah, I agree with both.
Well, good, because it's logical.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that's it for our little episode recap.
Wow.
Yeah, that was quick.
That was quick.
That was less than 2 hours.
Whew.
Wow. Well, I guess at this point, we will take questions or comments from you guys, see what you guys want to talk about, what you thought of the episode. Right? That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll be fun. All right, well, let's go to Rebel. I'm going to unmute you now. Hello, Rebel.
Oh, hi. Wow.
How's it going?
Pretty good. Wow. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I kind of put you on the spot, huh?
Yeah, I'm like the first one now.
Yes. Well, welcome.
Wow.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for tuning in.
Cool. I'm thrilled that you guys had a call-in show. That's cool.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's definitely different. So what do you think about this episode? What was your take on it?
I liked it. It made me like Jack less because he's like, I don't know. He just, as he goes on, he gets to be so, I don't know. I didn't like how he was like, oh, let's just take Juliet home. It doesn't matter, you know. And
Yeah.
I know he has like this weird crush on her or whatever, but I didn't get. I didn't like that. It's just like he orders everybody around, and he was just about to leave, and he was just about to abandon them pretty much, even though he tells himself he was going to come back. Some part of him's got to know that was bullshit, you know.
Yeah.
Like he was never coming home, you know.
Yeah, I think that Jack is sort of disappointed, you know, by the fact that, because, you know, when he says that line, you know, I think Kate says, like, what do we do now? And he's like, well, we go back. And I think he's really sad because he had his sights set on going home.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it is weird. You know, he does seem to have this sort of thing with Juliet. And, you know, to me it sort of feels like, what is it, Stockholm Syndrome, you know?
Yeah.
Where, like, you sort of fall in love with your captors or whatever. But, I mean, besides her beauty and all that. But... But
yeah.
Well, what do you think? Do you think Juliet is in on it, or do you think she was really left behind?
I don't know. I think she could have been left behind but you know, that doesn't mean that anybody should trust her, really.
Yeah,
you know?
that's
I mean,
good point.
You know, yeah, they branded her back, and she was in trouble just recently, so they could have left her behind, but I don't know. I wouldn't trust her anyway. You know, she was with them, and I don't know. I don't trust her anyway.
Yeah, I think it's definitely too early to put a lot of trust in her. Do you do you have any ideas of where you think the others went to?
I don't know. I can't even imagine. They just left their place with all their electricity. You know, with all their cool stuff, with their protection. I have no. The only reason I thought I didn't even mean that. I was just kidding about the four-toed statue because I was thinking, I don't know where else they could go. They have to go to whatever lost hidden city associated with the four-toed statue.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think that's actually an interesting idea that there's maybe some sort of hidden city or
like some Greek type place. You know?
Yeah, that's interesting that there's
four-toed people.
Yeah, I can buy that. Four-toed people. Now that's a little weird.
Four-toed dead people.
Four-toed dead people. Oh, okay, that makes them less threatening.
Are they moving around or?
I don't know. I'm just like, I'm just kidding. Like the four-toed statue. Wherever this place is, all the statues have four toes for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I would love to see where the others were before they were in O-Town. So presumably they went there. So that'd be cool because I'd like to see what's going on at that place.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Cool. Well,
thanks
for chatting with us. We're gonna go to 420 Brownie now.
Okay.
Right,
bye.
420. Hello.
Hey guys.
Hey.
All right, go. Interesting talk.
All right. What do you got for us, man? What do you think about this episode?
I thought it was good. I really liked seeing Smokey again. I think, although at first I thought we were finding out that the others didn't know a lot about Smokey. I think Damon and Carlton maybe made a comment about that. We probably shouldn't trust that. So
yeah.
it's always tough trying to fit in what we know. Plus, if you're one that listens to the Official Lost podcast, trying to fit in what we see on the show with their little smug comments. You never know. They're so tough to read. You know, they keep making this little comment too about maybe somebody that's dead or that we think is dead might be coming back. Which I guess is Mikhail.
I think it's Mikhail. I mean, I don't know who else it could be. Because, you know, like we said before, you know, we definitely didn't see anyone check to make sure he was dead. Nobody, you know, took his pulse or anything. But, yeah, they made that comment about someone that we think is dead might not be dead. And I guess we'll see who that's supposed to be. Unless maybe it's Jacob. Maybe everyone sort of thinks Jacob is dead and he's not. Maybe that's who they're talking about. I don't know.
Could be. At first, you know, they mentioned it twice. But the first time I thought they were just totally joking, and then they mentioned it again, so I guess there's something to it. But I thought it was good. I really not liking Jack. I mean, I hated how when, you know, Kate wakes him up, it's almost like he's just completely disinterested in what she has to say. And then he's all about, you know, where's Juliet? And then when he sees her, you know, they're all buddy-buddy, and I don't know. There's got to be something going on there we haven't seen. But, yeah, it was good. I know there were some comments, people calling it a filler episode. And I guess, to me, it was just more of a transition. But, I mean, you know, last year, if someone had said Locke's going to join the other, and one of the others is going to join the Losties, I think we would have all been like, whoa! You know, how's that going to happen?
Yeah.
It happened, and everyone's just kind of like, oh.
Yeah, apparently the answer is very easily, very logically. Yeah, but that's the thing, you know. I think if back in season 1 somebody told me Locke would be like he is today, I really wouldn't believe it. You know, he's so just sort of self-interested and sort of just crazy these days that I didn't see that coming. But yeah, it's weird that you know, we're gonna get an other back at the beach, and I can't wait to see how people react to that. You know. That's gonna be really strange.
I think I think Juliet was left behind, but I think she probably feels like there's a way she can maybe redeem herself. So I don't see her being really all that helpful. We'll see though. But I want to say before I forget, something you said a while ago to Rebel. I do really like your theory about go back to where they originally were staying. I guess before they invaded O-Town. That makes. And I wonder if it'll look something like the fake camp we saw. Yeah, that's what we were thinking, that it might that's maybe why the fake camp looked like it did, because that's how they used to live or something like that.
Right. Presumably minus the fake hatch door.
Yeah, the fake hatch door.
That part really doesn't fit with the you know, sort of primitive look.
Maybe they'll find Jacob there. I keep maybe thinking he's got this sort of communion with the island as well. You know, he never bought into the, you know, let's go live in, you know, O-Town, the little utopic society. So,
that's a good point. That I wonder if maybe Jacob and maybe a whole different group of others are back wherever the others are going now. Maybe there's more of them than just the 50. Because I definitely want to believe Jacob's alive and around somewhere.
Me too, and I hope we see him this season.
Yeah.
I'm not confident that we will, but I hope we do.
Yeah.
They keep hinting at it, but yeah, I'm afraid it might be next year, but we'll see. But it's apparently going to be a while before we see Locke again. So I guess I think the next few episodes maybe are going to be on the beach. I guess, you know, I'm staying spoiler free with the exception of the official podcast. And there's some spoilers there, but they're pretty generic, pretty vague.
Yeah.
But I'm finding that I'm really enjoying the episodes a lot more, even to the point of not watching Next on Lost, because they'd gotten to where they were just completely giving everything away.
Yeah, they do. They give a lot away in the Next on Lost these days. They can't help themselves because they want people to tune in, so they show you all the good stuff, and that's all the stuff you don't want to see, you know.
Yeah.
Crazy.
The worst one was that Canadian one with Locke saying he's coming for the submarine.
Yeah, the Canadian Next on Lost was horrible.
That was just ruined it.
Yeah, I heard you guys talking about that. I didn't see it. I was kind of into the spoilers last year, but and this year, first of the season, I was watching the Next on Lost, but I think it was the one. It was a silly episode where they found the Volkswagen van. But that one, they totally showed us that in the Next on Lost, and then so you're totally expecting it during the episode.
Yeah.
When they find it, it's just not a surprise at all.
Now that was a filler episode.
That was more of a filler than this was, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Jeez, that whole thing, and Smokey, and Vincent. Sorry, I think he's Smokey, but
yeah. What's
Vincent
the
was
difference?
bringing the arm, and jeez.
Yeah, I know you love it when Vincent shows up like Lassie with a little,
Yeah. Look what I found. Yeah, it's interesting. Here, this will get the plot going.
The other thing I haven't heard a lot of people talking about is, I think this episode pretty much confirms once and for all, or, not that it's been that big a mystery, but that Nikki and Paulo are definitely dead. I mean, if they had somehow survived, we would have seen them. On the beach.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, they've been buried for, at least a day or something like that, so they should definitely be dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never really thought that. I've heard some other chat about people thinking, maybe one of them would survive. But I never really believed that. I mean, I think the point was to kill them off, and that's what they did.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's no reasonable way they should have survived. Oh man, that'd be weird if any one of them is alive.
A lot of people latched on to Locke's line about things on this island don't stay buried, and they thought that was foreshadowing the fact that they were gonna become unburied somehow, like the beach was gonna wash away the sand or something.
The beach washing away 6 feet of sand, before they can suffocate to death? No way.
I didn't say it was a good theory, but people were. A lot of people were thinking that for some reason. I guess because they just didn't think they could just do nothing and then die. But that's what they did.
That's exactly what they did. They did nothing and died.
Yeah, and that didn't really bother me. I know we're sort of skipping back an episode, but I heard a lot of people complaining about that. But I mean, at the same time, everyone was complaining that they wanted them gone because they weren't, doing anything. It's like you can't have it both ways.
I mean, I think I was one of those people. I'm like, well, if you're going to have these characters around, make them do something. And then they killed them off before they really did anything. And it was like, it just seemed like a way. And I think Carlton and Damon basically, said in one of their podcasts that they couldn't do what they wanted to do with Nikki and Paulo. They didn't have time. And I think that's why they sort of get the short end of the stick in terms of lost characters because they didn't really have time to make a mark, other than these bad people.
Did I hear somewhere that Paulo's, or the actor that plays him, was he not happy with the way that was going? I think I heard that maybe, that he was ready to go.
Really?
I heard that too, but I don't remember where. But that
he was ready to leave.
Actually, I remember reading a while ago that he gave an interview where he was saying that he got killed off, and I was like, there's no way he would say that, but I don't know, he did get killed off. It was a while ago. It was like a month ago, probably. It was way before the episode came on.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, there was some deal a while back with Jack was, my mind's going blank. Who plays Jack?
Matthew Fox.
Matthew Fox, yeah. That he was seen, I guess, in the, here in the States. And he had some little comment about, I can't tell you why, but I don't think there's really much to that.
The idea that he was, I think that was just the period where we didn't see Jack for a few episodes, for 10 and 11 and 12. I think 12 we saw him right at the end playing football, so I think that was, just during that time he wasn't working on Lost, and he couldn't explain because he was at the other's village. And I don't think it was a big deal, but nobody knew at the time, so.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. This show, I mean, I'm sitting here thinking about if there's anything else I wanted to say. I mean, there's so much going on in this show. It's really hard to put, good comments together on the blog because it gets so wordy. and it's hard too, talking about it even with someone. There's just so much going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. That's why our podcasts are so long.
Mhm.
I got through this one fast. I was kind of watching the time as we were going, and as you were going through the scenes, and I could tell we were kind of going fast. But
yeah, I think I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think you talked about all there was to talk about, though. So.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of big mysteries. I mean, the biggest thing was, the others leaving, what do they know about Smokey? And that's about it, And the whole half of the episode, which was Kate's backstory, there's not much to talk about there. So, this was a pretty quick one.
I guess in my mind, the biggest thing lingering from this episode is the whole deal with Juliet and Kate. How did they get out there in the jungle? And I'd like to know more about that.
What's your theory on what happened?
I don't have a good one, but every time I think, well, I guess somehow Juliet took Kate out there and then handcuffed her to her, and I do sort of believe that she wanted to make sure, that they didn't leave her behind too.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get into the whole problem of, well, but how did she wake up quicker, or was she even gassed? I don't know. There's something there we're not seeing. Hopefully they'll go back to that.
Yeah, hopefully they will go back to that.
Because I'm sure there's a whole lot that we haven't seen with Locke yet. I feel like we'll go back in time when we get back to Locke, and they'll sort of show immediately what happened right after he said Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole episode waiting for that one to see what happened after he said Dad, and did they take Cooper with them? I mean, presumably they took Cooper with them if Cooper was real. I don't know. Whatever he was supposed to be, but
maybe then they can show us a little bit of what's going on with Juliet.
I think maybe a 3-minute style episode where they kind of fill in the blanks, what happened after that, and how, show him visiting Kate maybe even, and kind of like, because I think with Michael's case, he saw the computer message that said, Dad or whatever, the supposed message from Walt, and then he leaves, and we sort of didn't find out what the deal with that was until towards the end of the season, and it sort of filled in, what happened during that whole time, and how he ended up coming back and all that. So yeah, I would think maybe something like that for Locke. That seems likely to me. It's very, very closely paralleled, I think. Some mysterious thing, and then they sort of disappear, and then then you have to wait till the end to get the resolution or whatever.
Well, what do you guys think about the? Actually, I will unmute Rebel here too, because we can all talk about this. Since we know that Locke won't be on the show for a couple episodes, what do you think is going to be the main focus on the show when the guys get back to the beach? Since it's not going to be the others.
Rebel, you want to go?
Well, I definitely think next week it's going to be what Juliet knows and doesn't know, and maybe a little conflict between Sawyer and Jack. I think maybe they won't trust him as much with him siding with her the way he is. I mean, I know that she's only been there 3 years, but she was holding them in cages and stuff. I mean, I don't know.
Hopefully we'll find out why.
I mean, otherwise I don't know really. I don't know otherwise besides that.
Well, I was having a hard time figuring out how they were going to make this transition as far as making their way back towards the beach. And the writers just always seem to have these little simple ways of making things happen. So I can't really imagine what they're going to do for the next 3 episodes. But next week for sure, them coming back to the beach and everybody being so happy to see them. And then they'll see Juliet talk and they'll be like, "What's she doing here?"
Yeah.
So that'll be one episode. I can't really.
Well, hopefully it won't be just a bunch of. Oh, sorry. Hopefully it won't be just a bunch of don't hurt her. Oh, she's not going to tell us anything anyways, like they always do. Hopefully it's going to be maybe she actually says something.
Yeah. If Rousseau was there, she would be like, "Don't listen to her. She'll lie."
All she can say is lies.
Yeah, I'm not holding out a whole lot of hope for what we're going to find out from Juliet.
Yeah, one of the little things I want to know is what were they building on the mini island? I really want to know. I hope someone asked that question.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, and I hope it's not just like Echo's Church where it just came out to be nothing. But
right.
But they got 3 episodes of stuff to do. I mean, at some point they have to plan to. I mean, they don't need to rescue Locke, so it's not like they're going to try to do that because Locke went on his own will. So. Can you guys think of any reason why they might need to go back and like track the others down?
Maybe I don't think this is what's going on because I really don't think the writers ever let them do this kind of thing. But it would be nice if they were a little proactive and they kind of just followed them just because they kind of wanted to know what the hell was going on. But I don't think that they'll ever do that. It seems like they just always want to sit on the beach and just worry about it later or something, you know?
Yeah. Or maybe I could see Juliet saying something like, Jack, Ben lied, there's another way off the island or something. And maybe she's lying and just wants to see Ben or complain or whatever, but I could see that being a reason why they might go after them if there's some other way off the island. Because Ben said that the only way is the submarine, but I feel like he's the kind of guy who would lie and have, an extra trick up his sleeve. Something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that would come up this year, though. I don't know why, but I think that would be something that next year you'd be like, oh, there's another way off the island, But I definitely think there would, but I agree with you. I think there would be another way somehow. There's got to be another way off the island that he's got only for himself.
Well, and maybe the other way off. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, we know, Walt, Michael and Walt left on a boat. I mean, allegedly they got off. But I don't know why you'd have to be submerged underwater to get out.
Yeah.
Unless there's like sort of my theory.
Yeah,
I have a sort of a crackpot theory, maybe that there's a wormhole underwater.
Oh
somewhere.
no!
An underwater wormhole.
Under the water.
Yikes!
Nice.
That's wow! I have not heard that theory before.
Wow.
Speak and leap right there, baby.
If that happens, you'll get full credit in my eyes.
Yeah. Wow. You heard it here first, folks. Underwater wormhole.
Underwater. I never would have thought of that ever, ever, ever. Wow.
It's a giant drain in the snow globe that is the Lost Island.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that's the thing. We saw that they had that boat. When they left the mini island, they had that boat. So
all they need to do is do 325 right off
exactly.
that pier.
How come no one has said that? How come Juliet or any of those people haven't mentioned that? Maybe they'll throw that out there that they. Someone will mention that they still have that boat, so.
And maybe one of the episodes, in this sort of while we're waiting to get back to Locke and all that, maybe one of them will be there. They go back to the Hydra just to see if there's anything, anything going on over there. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's got to be some kind of adventure, I would think, for them to get into.
Say that again?
I was just saying that surely they've got to come up with some kind of adventure for the guy, for them to get into.
Yeah.
Surely they're not going to just show them, lounging around on the beach for the next 3 episodes.
Yeah.
I think that's actually what might happen, unfortunately. I think maybe it'll be, beach drama for a few episodes, and then something big will happen to draw them out, towards the end to lead into the finale. But I could actually see them hanging around on the beach for 3 episodes, sadly.
Yeah.
I agree. I hate it, but I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've really been going breakneck speed this whole season, so I could see them, because we haven't had everyone at the beach this entire season. So, I think, well, of course, Locke won't be there, but most people will be there. So I could see them hanging around on the beach. You're right, yeah. I could see them hanging around the beach for a little while, and then something big happening. Maybe they'll try to kidnap Claire again or something.
Oh, God.
Kidnap the baby. I don't know. I'd like to think they still want
Ellen? Where's Ellen?
Oh, God, yeah.
They'll take off into the jungle and
exactly. Get to
Ethan will
know.
have risen from the dead or something. I don't know. Just kidding.
I'd love to see Ethan again. I'd love it if Ethan was around. That'd be awesome.
He was
Ethan,
really good. He was good. I'm hoping they'll bring Patchy back. He was good too. I just realized he was the guy from Wishmaster, which is weird. Those really lame. I was like, wait, he's gotten really old, but he's so cool though.
Yeah, he played the evil genie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took me a while, but then they showed it on Sci-Fi. I was like, oh my God, it's Patchy. Wow.
Wow.
I realized I had every time I saw Kate's mom, I knew she seemed familiar. Then I realized when I watched this episode that she was one of the like aunts on like Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yeah, she was.
Wow.
Yeah, I knew that voice and that face, but she's a totally different character, so I couldn't place it. Then I saw her and I was like, oh yeah, you're Melissa Joan Hart's magical aunt or something. Crazy. Well, cool. I think we're done for the podcast, right? Unless you guys want to talk about something else. What's new on Grey's Anatomy? You guys got any big questions or anything, or? I'm
sure I'll kick myself later, but my brain is hurting right now from thinking too much. I don't see how you guys. Seriously, on your longer podcast, I don't see how you guys keep it together that long because it's hard for me to think about this stuff and talk it out.
Editing, that's how we do it.
You know what? It's so much easier to sit at home and to like think about questions than it is to actually talk about them when you have to.
Yeah.
I sit there and I go, oh, why didn't they think of this? And then now it's really hard, you know?
Yeah, no, it is hard being on this. And I think Justin and I have had some practice, doing the podcast and being able to do that. Because, our earlier podcasts were shorter, but somehow we found a way to talk about every single minute detail, even the boring stuff. And that's why it's like 4 hours of podcast.
That's what makes it great. I mean, because the show, there's so, like I said earlier, there's so much going on. And, just to do like a real quick generic recap doesn't really do justice.
It does do justice, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you.
Yeah, this was crazy. Never get to hear people talking.
What are you going to say?
I was just going to say, I really am enjoying this season. I know there's a lot of people I think that dropped off, and they're missing out now because it really got. Really got
the
good.
First couple episodes were kind of blah, but now they've been really, really good though for a while.
Yeah.
I'm glad they've kind of gotten better.
Do you guys think you think it's better than season 2 so far?
Yeah.
Altogether, yeah. I think it was altogether equal, but only because the first few episodes of this weren't that great.
Yeah.
But but this, I think so far it's a little better because we're getting somewhere with the plot, and I think the plot is the most important thing in a story, pretty much. So
yeah.
I think episode for episode, I think for me it comes out on top. Although season 2 has some great episodes that I don't think season 3 has really topped, like the other 48 days, but overall, there's been a lot more development so far than what we got in season 2 by this point.
Oh yeah, so, definitely.
So I like
it's all
that.
about the numbers, and now what do they even mean anymore? It's almost like they don't even matter.
Season 2 was almost like we could have skipped it, because it was all about the hatch and stuff, and it's like at this point it doesn't really matter what was going on in the hatch. We're talking about the other, so
right.
it seems like a big diversion.
Yeah, it was like last year we thought the hatch was sort of like, or the Swan Station was sort of like the end game, and really it's just such a small little piece of the whole puzzle. But so yeah, I mean last year we were so caught up in the number, pressing the button, and I mean season 2 is great in its own right. And Justin, you're right. I think there's some episodes. I mean I really liked season 2, the first 3 or 4 episodes where they kept kind of going back and giving us different perspectives. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
But at some point, the whole thing with Henry Gale just really started bugging me.
Yeah, I think the second episode, Henry Gale actually done. I'm like, come on. Once they found out Yeah.
When they said the next 2 weeks were going to suck for her, I think this is terrible, I guess, but they should have been torturing people or something. You know, that's not.
Yeah.
Like what, they sat around feeling bad, you know, whatever, being watched, you know.
Breaking
was
rocks and stuff. Yeah.
You know? I mean, it just didn't follow through with what he said, you know. So.
Yeah.
That was a question. I can remember, I think you guys mentioned it. I remember talking to people about, you know, what's going to be so unpleasant about it? You know, what in the world are they going to do?
Yeah.
I know, they should have been in that whatever it is, the brainwashing room from day one, being like, you will become a good person or something. If it was going to suck so bad, you know.
Yeah.
No thing, you know.
There was a lot of hype with that line that the next 2 weeks are gonna, you know, be bad, and you know, that so bad, in fact, that the only thing she could hang on to was this great breakfast they were gonna have, you know, you're right, it didn't follow through. Like all they had to do, you know, it sucks to be breaking rocks in the heat and doing manual labor and locked in a cage, but you know, not that bad considering.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of painted it out to be where it was going to be just all sorts of just inhuman things that really didn't happen.
Yeah.
You know? He made it sound so bad that it was like, well, it's not great being on a beach and hunting boars for a living either. At least I get a fish biscuit here.
Exactly.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Sawyer was, I mean, Saeed's done worse to Sawyer. I mean, the bamboo shoot's fingernails is worse than anything.
Yeah. Yeah,
oh,
definitely.
This is all talk.
Yeah, Saeed's a professional, you know.
I think the writers are good at like suggesting some crazy stuff's gonna happen. You know, they've mastered that craft. But when it comes to delivering, they only deliver something really incredible, like occasionally. You know, it's not like all the time.
The incredible stuff, they rarely ever, you know, hint at it. It usually just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's just really easy to write something like that. Oh, the next 2 weeks is going to be crazy, but it's harder to follow through with that.
Right.
And, yeah, I think that's really what they're doing there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Who's your favorite character, guys?
Ooh.
Well,
that was my reaction. You stole it.
Well, on most of the Lost boards, I'm Sawyer's girlfriend because it was just because I got in like right at the first episode and everybody was taking Jack and I was like, I don't want Jack anyway, I want Sawyer. But now I'm between Sawyer and Locke, even though like Locke's getting all. But I've always liked how he was in season 1 and
everybody liked him in season 1.
And I kind of like how he's getting cool again. So I guess I'm between Sawyer and Locke.
Sawyer and Locke.
Sawyer's going a little down, the Locke's coming up again, and I don't know. I like them both.
Yeah, I always liked Saeed. I think he might be my favorite. I've not really thought about that before. That's a good question.
Saeed is really good too.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, I really like Desmond, even though he can be weird at times. I like him, too. I don't know. I go through bouts of not just being barely able to tolerate Jack and Locke. Sometimes too. Sawyer just comes across a little silly to me sometimes. But
lately, yeah, for sure.
They've kind of marginalized him in the last few episodes. He's been this, you know, Mr. playing ping pong and, you know, just kind of kicking back, and I don't know. He really hasn't anything to do.
They made him really more happy-go-lucky, like jolly. They made him more like Hurley, actually.
Yeah.
In the last couple episodes, then, because you know, in season 1, he was like this badass and name calling, like you never knew.
He could be a badass. They're afraid to let him be a badass.
Yeah.
And they kind of made him into like this beach bum, really.
Exactly.
And Saeed is like so cool because he's so bad, but he thinks he's doing it for good, but he's like torturing people all over the place.
Yeah.
Like, he knows how to torture, you know.
And that's the thing. It's like, even though torturing is bad, you're happy that he knows how to do it because it comes in handy. It's like
it's very useful.
He's got this cool skill that nobody else has. Yeah,
it's true.
I would have to say my favorite character is Saeed, but we haven't seen too much of him this. He hasn't done too many good things this season, but I'd say Saeed. I agree. 420. Desmond is pretty good, but again, he hasn't done. He's been less good this season. But I think when they start back with his little powers, I think he'll be more interesting when they get back to that whole thing.
I don't really buy a whole lot into this whole deal they're doing with Sawyer because, I mean, next episode he could go right back to being his usual self. Last year they had the whole "I'm the new sheriff in town" thing.
Oh God.
That was literally over the next episode.
Well, hopefully they're setting it up for some reason and not doing the same thing and just being like, "Oh, you're the leader now," and then he's like, "Well, thank God I'm not," and that's it. Hopefully they're not doing that because that would be pretty lame, and they might be. I mean, they could, but I hope not.
Well,
hopefully there'll be some conflict there.
I'm really surprised that that Jack and them are getting back to the beach in the next episode. I didn't see the next town lost, but I was just thinking logically, like, why set up this thing about Sawyer being the leader if he's not going to have a chance to be, unless maybe he's going to have it in his head that he's the leader, and then when Jack comes back, there's going to be some conflict there.
And with him next to Juliet, it might be like, I'm not going to follow. Why should we follow you? That lady had me in a cage eating fish biscuits.
Yeah, I think that might be what it is. It's going to be Kate and Sawyer with each other versus Jack and Juliet.
Yeah,
that might be the big conflict. Yeah.
I have to throw in case anybody's interested. I have to go with Saeed as far as the Fuselage survivors go, with an honorable mention to the late Echo, and also as far as the others go, I like Ethan with an honorable mention to Goodwin. So anyway.
Oh yeah, I was gonna get to you on your. So you said Saeed, honorable mention Echo.
Mhm.
Pretty good, yeah. I think Echo does deserve an honorable mention. He was until the church thing, I think that
the church thing did suck.
It was probably his one big suck,
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my next round of questions was who's your favorite other?
Oh, okay, I already answered.
And you said what now?
Ethan with honorable mention to Goodwin.
Okay, nice.
Because he was only in one episode, really, but he was really good in that one episode. So.
I will go with my favorite other. I'm going to go with Juliet.
Wow.
Honorable mention to Ben. I'll go to Ben.
Okay.
What about you guys?
I'm going to go with Ben. Honorable mention Tom.
Nice.
We're all honorably mentioning. That's good.
I'm going to go with Tom because he's just so cuddly. He looks cuddly.
Yeah.
He looks cuddly now. He didn't back in season 1. He was scary.
Yeah, he looked scary then, but now he's shaved. Now he looks cuddly.
Yeah.
Really, Ben is the best one, though, I think.
I kind of like all the others to some extent, though. I also like Ben, and I like Tom, and I like Juliet, and Miss Clue. Anybody? I don't know.
Yeah, for what she did, she was good.
Mikhail, of course, the late Mikhail.
I take it back, Mikhail. Sorry.
Mikhail, okay.
Yeah, he was way better. Yeah, I
gotta say, person for person, I think I like the others more than the Losties.
Yeah.
I mean, because on the Losties you got Claire, you got Hurley, you got Charlie. I'm like, and you guys have done some good stuff, but I don't think you guys they've been nearly as interesting as some of the others.
Yeah.
You know.
The only other that I don't like at all is the sheriff. I mean, she looks like she could bust out the Kool-Aid at any moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the sheriff.
I thought the sheriff was okay. She was a little bit of a kind of repeat of a kind of character type that we've seen before, just that all-knowing, sort of condescending, smug other person. I liked her sort of, but not as much as the others.
I think to me, my least favorite other will always be Pickett.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even mention Pickett. Ugh.
Yeah.
Pickett or his wife, they were equally. Equally
Pickett and
bad.
who?
His wife.
Colleen.
Oh, Colleen. Oh, geez.
Yeah.
And they were the good people, right? It's okay to kill people as long as they're not your people. You know?
Exactly.
Pika got a lot more lines than Colleen did, but they were both kind of lame. So I didn't even bring them up. I forgot they were there.
I actually don't even like, another one I don't like is Alex's boyfriend. After they brought him back. Carl. Oh, he sucked after that. I was like, they brainwashed you too well, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty blah.
He's pretty boring. I forgot about Alex, too. God, there's a lot of others. I didn't realize how many there were.
Yeah.
I thought about her, but I thought maybe she was on the border because Danielle's her mother and stuff. She was kind of, she's an other, but she's still kind of, I don't know. I
Yeah.
She didn't choose to be an other.
Yeah.
By that. Cool.
Okay.
Well, I think that's it for us. This has been a really interesting podcast. It's I think we'll definitely do another live one at some point. There's a lot of time we have to fill in the summer because it seems like Lost might not come back until the beginning of 2008. So there'll be a long. Yeah, that's a long time.
I think after the finale would be the best. Would be awesome because I'm sure there's going to be so much to talk about. Yeah,
that's actually a good idea. I'm going to write that down. After the finale will be another good time for a live one, and we'll do like we said before. The A to Z I think is pretty cool, and some of the other ideas you guys had are cool. Ideas to do, but and the commentary podcast, of course.
Yeah.
Which was fun.
I was just going to mention that. I'd love to hear you guys do a running commentary.
Yeah.
Mystery Theater. What was it? Mystery Theater 3000?
Mystery Theater 3000.
Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Mystery Science Theater. Because it's science because there were robots in there.
Mm-hmm. And I think maybe they were watching, like, sci-fi movies. Old, like, B sci-fi movies. Maybe.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
I didn't really watch it, but that's my impression.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks for talking to us, guys. I'm going to mute you now.
Okay, bye.
All right. Take it easy. Cool. Well,
wow.
Justin, that was fun.
That was fun.
Very interesting. What is there anything else we need to go over before we end this sucker?
What do we usually do at the end?
Well, we usually, next on Lost or any other news, updates, spoilers, sort of, and that's about it. I mean, I don't really think there's much else to say. Yeah,
I agree. I think we had a pretty good little end thing there, a little Lost Lowdown campfire discussion. That was fun.
I roasted my marshmallows. I hope you did.
I made s'mores with mine.
Nice.
So,
you can never make a good s'more when you're at a campfire, though. You got to have a microwave to melt the chocolate.
Ew.
You do. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. You're right. Sadly. You really shouldn't need a microwave for a good s'more, but you do.
You do. That's the thing. Technology, benefits us in so many ways.
It's one of those tragedies of life. Yeah. All right.
Well, are you ready for the end? I'm going to say it.
You can say it. I'm ready.
Thanks and namaste.
Namaste and good luck.
I got to figure out what this is. Let's see.